Well, hello. Welcome to our Truth Tuesday show. I'm David Sponheim of America's Third Party, and we are always available every night from 5 o'clock all the way to 2 in the morning. It's a pretty long broadcasting time. We do about a 4 to 5 hour show, nonstop. I started an hour ago. This is the second hour starting. So we recorded at 6 and we run it till about 10. 4 hour chunk of really interesting, very topical news items, things that are happening, conflicts that are happening. Like right now, protests still being talked about all across the blogosphere. This is raw video of a guy punching somebody in the face, and I'm not sure who's who at this point, whether the guy punching is the rioter and the reporter is the conservative Trump supporter. We're not sure, but watch this.
Wait, get out of my fucking face. I will break your camera. You do not have the right to.
Hit her in the face, right there. No impulse control, anger, people running on edge. You know, it happens when people are really, really constantly pissed off. And Trump has had that effect on people. I'm not saying he's pissed off because of Trump necessarily, but it creates an edgy experience. And a young guy like that is very, very dangerous. We saw a clip last week where a guy was standing in line with an old woman, and because she got into his space, he just cold-cocked her and knocked the old woman right down, and she completely blacked out. It was just absolutely bizarre. We saw a closed-circuit TV of that. We're talking about coming up with ideas to save the country. America is obviously in need of new technologies. Donald Trump is just doing the things that I said he should do. And in a way, I'm kind of glad about this. But in a way, I'm a little bit, sad that he stole my ideas. But either way, it's not about me. It's about the country. And by stopping the Trans-Pacific Partnership, he's made a good move. It will actually make things slow down a little bit. I think TPP had an agenda, an ideological agenda, and just stopping it there is a good thing. But the other fact that it will stop the spread of genetically modified food into Europe and Ukraine is a very good thing. By not signing it, he did a good thing, or by rejecting it, I should say. All right. Other things he's doing are making news, which, obviously everybody's sitting back and wondering, well, what will be the effect of this? Will it affect trade with China? Well, he hasn't patched things up with China. To my knowledge, he hasn't moved the 3,500 tanks that are sitting in Poland waiting to attack Russia. He doesn't seem to be opening up a dialogue with Putin yet. In fact, Putin forestalled their meeting in Reykjavik for months from now. So I think a lot of things are changing. The dynamic is maneuvering around. Trump has not said that he's going to stop rebel support in Syria, which means he's probably going to continue rebel support in Syria, and Putin is probably going, why did we buy Carlos from this man? He's been doing what we're telling him to do. So maybe you might think that he's not being controlled by Russia. But what if he is? What if they're sitting on sex tapes that could be used against him? What if he wants to use America as a military might to intimidate Russia from using those sex tapes against him? Because those sex tapes are pretty authentic, supposedly. The FBI and CIA are convinced that they're real. So we're going to really try to figure this out and eventually figure out why the CIA and the FBI are not doing anything. Well, Trump just essentially gave a pass for James Comey, who is basically going to stay as the director of the FBI. And I think that's a big mistake. I don't think James Comey should be the director of the FBI anymore. He purposely rigged the election in favor of Donald Trump. So he's keeping the FBI guy that rigged the election in favor of Donald Trump, clearly by posting criminal charges were going to be filed on Hillary 5 days before the election. It turns out that James Comey had these documents, these 35-page documents, from John McCain about the sex tapes in Moscow 5 months before the election, and he didn't do anything. So clearly James Comey is doing this as a payback, and Donald Trump is doing it as a payback to James Comey. So this is very, very strange. James Comey needs to be fired. I agree. He should have just resigned. I can't believe this guy is so dirty. He doesn't do an investigation of Pizzagate like he should. There's been no open investigation on Pizzagate in Washington, D.C. FBI is doing nothing. And we know that there's something very, very weird under that pizza store. We found the kill room. A person did an amazing, detailed, investigative journalistic work on YouTube. Found a kill room underneath the Comet Pizza store, allegedly. Now, again, without an investigation, we can't shore this up with truth. But what we know is there was an underground building under that restaurant and under Pegasus right down the street. So there's apparently an underground passageway. The whole thing is just freaky to anybody who's an honest, good person to hear about people killing children, endangering them, torturing them, using them for sex objects. I mean, this stuff is really, really sick. And to think that FBI Director James Comey doesn't want to pursue an investigation into the D.C. pedophile ring reeks of complicity. Reeks to the whole hell. And then he won't even drain the swamp. Yeah. He won't even put watchdog people in every single cabinet post. Trump is essentially, and I'm arguing that he's violating the same laws that Rod Blagojevich violated when Rod Blagojevich was overheard talking about selling a position, the U.S. Senate position of of Barack Obama. Well, Rod Blagojevich went to jail for a couple of years trying to do this. Now Donald Trump is apparently, whoa, that's one hell of a derailing. Donald Trump is apparently now offering Betsy DeVos, the director or the Secretary of Education, after she made a $9.5 million donation to Trump's campaign and a $200 million donation to the Republican National Committee. If that isn't pay for play, I don't know what is. So we've got a serious, egregious violation under Trump already. Not to mention who else in that cabinet has paid him money. Look at that. Wow. This is a train on a derailment going too fast around a corner. Look at this. Whoa. Well, that was not pretty, and I'm sure those people didn't last very long. That's pretty intense. But you don't care, Dave? You're not emotional about it? You know that I am. I do care. I'm very passionate about a lot of things. You've got Mongolia, 23,000 people are watching it. Mongolia, wow, cool. Reddit is filing a lawsuit against you for not winning. That's pretty funny. I heard Reddit thinks I'm a robot. That's okay. They can think that. We're using any means possible to break through the mainstream media censorship against us. I don't know what's going on. Donald Trump is putting up yellow or gold curtains everywhere to cover up a quick cover for the what happened with, I guess, the Newport cigarettes and Barack Obama and his endless smoking. You know, I'm sure the walls are getting pretty tarnished in the Oval Office. Wow, people are listening in on the radio in Poland. That's very interesting. All right, so we've got a few things to discuss. I guess the best way to go to the top of the heap and understand that Donald Trump is at war with media executives. There's been a couple of media executives that have, come forth and talked about fake news, CNN versus President Donald Trump, network top executives make veiled threat. Basically, he's not happy with the media that gave him free advertising and free press for the past 2 years. He's not happy with them. It's bizarre. I've had no press, and he's turned his back like a rabid animal on the very hand that fed him. And to discredit an entire network is just uncalled for. It's beyond reason. If he wants to get rid of any journalist, he better just open the door to all journalists, because if we want to get more people out there like I want to do, the Media Verification Alliance would be the way to do it. I have a concept where I want to actually create a group of people that can actually determine whether the truth is true or whether it's fake. And they would have to put their personal finances in a public trust like Donald Trump should do, and he hasn't done. And we'd have a brand new form of journalism, as well as CNN, Fox, and others. You can call them all fake news, but they're the last stand for journalists at this point. We don't have a lot of journalists left. So if you're going to attack CNN and Fox, you won't have anybody representing you. Yeah, you got to find something good about their shows. There's got to be kernels of goodness in every corrupt batch of compost heap. I love guests. Yeah, I think it's been a big part of our show. I have more viewers than CNN. I have more viewers than Donald Trump. I have 150 million viewers on average. Tonight we have close to 262 million, based on the UHF estimates, which is bizarre and almost unbelievable. And every time Sarah comes in the show, she doesn't believe this. She doesn't understand how viral we've become in spite of all the censorship. She just doesn't believe it. And I'm trying to be patient with her. It's difficult for me because I need to embrace this. We need to breathe in. But in a way, she said this very simple thing. She said, even if I was received by millions of people, I'm still the same person. So in a way, she's right. It's true. 620 million people. It's growing every second. 150 million. I'm glad you love me because I've been trying to produce a good quality solution-based plan for America for a long, long time, for 8 years. Thank you for understanding. Where are those people watching you? All over the world. Yeah, we have an online revolution going on, and it's happening right before your very eyes. I predicted this would happen years ago, but it's actually, timing's perfect. I don't think we could ask for a better timing than a terrible president who simply doesn't understand how to relate to people. And it's kind of unfortunate. A person who's had his way or the highway all his life is now in charge of the White House, and he's stoked the furnace with corruption, filling the swamp with anacondas and reptiles, adult crocodiles, billionaires. It's like he has no shame. He doesn't even want to admit that he has billionaires. I mean, it's like not a big deal. He's like, well, of course, they made a lot of money in their industry, so we're going to keep them in the White House. They're not really planning on doing anything. If you had $1 billion, would you be out there working hard for the average person in education or in defense or interior or Secretary of State? I mean, of course, he's a multimillionaire. He wants to be a billionaire. Rex Tillerson. Oh, come on. Wearing the same clothes, eating expired food, it's an international custom. You can't spite me for living sustainably. Oh, that's right. You're living on your credit card, borrowing money from money you don't have so that you can impress your friends with your caviar diet. And then you go home and eat tuna fish rotted with radiation out of the ocean. Yeah, so you don't understand the reality is you're going to have to focus on the simple pleasures in life if you're going to get through the next 10 years. Any of you personally. You've got to focus on simple. As I am to money, I'm to money as I guess Mark Vaughn is to honesty. He hates honesty. He lied to me. He said he doesn't censor me. He also said he wrote my name in, and we all know he's a Trump supporter. So anyway, they are censoring me on this network. It doesn't matter. At least you have some place to chat quickly. The pace is good. It doesn't hurt. With the vast number of people that want to chat, we are still opening up new venues, and we're going to try a couple of different other alternatives. We tried Discord this week, and we were shut down. We still have a few people that got in, but the IPs of all those people were shut down, which is another technique they're using. All right, so this guy was very pissed off. It's just unfortunate that most powerful person in the world is trying to delegitimize journalism and an organization that plays such a vital role in our democracy. Zucker, CNN's president, said in an interview with the New York Magazine. And when he asked about Trump denouncing CNN as fake news, I think he's entitled to his opinion, but it's, to use one of his favorite words, sad. And I think, yeah, it is sad that Trump's trying to delegitimize any network that questions the integrity of the CIA and FBI intelligence. Donald Trump's typical plan is to just go after the messenger. The messenger is the content of the message could be he had 2 sex tapes in Moscow. Oh, that's fake news. You can't believe that, it's fake news. No, CIA and the FBI have signed off on this. Even Pompeius, his new CIA director nominee, admitted that Russia hacked the election. Boy, words from you, the man who's living in a condo. I can't even go there. Dave, did you hear Zuckerberg is going to try to run for president? Right. And that's like asking somebody with absolutely no emotion, no talent. I've seen his work on film. It's horrible. The guy has no presence at all. Yeah. I never tried to be famous when I was younger, no. All I did was I produced a little lobby card. Somebody said all I had to do to get noticed in Hollywood when I was working in Hollywood was produce a lobby card and they would somehow make me famous. I didn't really care. I just wanted a job to see what acting was like because I have no professional training whatsoever. And in 1978, I put together this 4 pictures of myself. And this happens to be right around the time that Sarah was born. She was, very similar, actually. There you go. Yeah, she was born right around the time this was made. I was 18 years old, and I thought I could get a job in Hollywood if I just, promoted myself. And the people that told me to get the lobby card didn't even care. They said they just lied to me. They said they could get work in Hollywood just to get me to work for them. I learned my first lesson in life that people can deceive you. I look like Leif Garrett, yeah. That was the hairstyle of the 1970s. You can definitely see that I looked like a little John Travolta, too, in there. I do have too much integrity to work in Hollywood, and that's why I pursued this. I had a choice at one point when Sarah and I were starting this whole thing. I said, Sarah, I can pursue more voiceover here in Seattle and work into the Seattle voiceover clique, or I can just do what I really want to do, and that's pursue politics. And it was perfect. I didn't have to drive to Seattle and sit there in front of some art director who said, so, could you say that word just a little slower, please? Okay. So I pursued a career outside it. That's too slow. Speed up a little faster. So I pursued a career in American politics. That's just not right. Could you take a beat right after the point where you said, so I could? So I could pursue. So I had to deal with these art directors all the time. Yeah. It's kind of amazing. So I wouldn't want to continue that, and I would prefer my ethics drove me to politics. I thought that would be a better place for me. Rodney is very jealous because he's pursued voiceover actively and works for an agency and is probably trolling us with a salary. So he comes in here and I have to purge him every time. You've heard Rodney on many different TV shows. Yeah, he's a very accomplished voiceover guy. It's not going to get any going anymore. I was going to start by starting a discussion of getting pitted, but I'd rather show you the update from Latvian Girl.
Hey David, thanks for keeping me awake while I slay my night shift. The chat has been very fun lately and you've been very entertaining.
I feel a little guilty because I haven't really gotten her into the Discord show. She wanted to talk and she doesn't seem to know how to get in there, and I'm the only one in the room. I'm not really sure what happened to everybody. I think they just took off. It's no update now. It's like a month old. No, she's a Latvian girl who came in, and she wanted me to, I guess, talk to her on Skype, and she's frustrated because I can't use Skype. Because if I use Skype, it will reveal my IP to haters. This was a really interesting little thing that came into our show yesterday. I'm going to give you the link. Apparently there's a Secret Service guy that looks like a robot. He's been following Donald Trump everywhere he goes. And it's this guy right here, and his hands are very strange. It's like he has a prosthetic hand. You see that? Yeah, they'll catch on Skype, I know. So many people are wondering, do they have already active robots in the military. Are these people equipped with prosthetic arms? I mean, how is this? So we had kind of a fun little vignette about watching this guy move around and looking at those weird hands of his. They're almost robotic, and they look like they have a plastic housing around them. Anyway, he seems to be the number one Secret Service guy. He may be a cyborg, I know. And I'm trying to get to the truth here. So, do you believe he is an android? He was an injured military official? Explain to me why he is right next to the President of the United States. It would be improper for a person who is injured, who is incapacitated to function with prosthetic arms next to a presidential candidate or elected official. What are we looking at here, Scissor Fight? Could this be a UFO in Antarctica? Oh, wow, okay. Let's take a look. We're looking at a picture of Antarctica up close and personal. Wow. Possible UFO. Look at that. Zooming. Thanks, I'm not zooming. I don't know. It does look cylindrical. It could have been just a large, round asteroid that landed. Makes sense. The red spot. Okay, so moving on. I'm just going through some links here. Truth Tuesday. We're processing some previous links from previous shows. Organisms created with synthetic DNA pave way for entirely new life forms. Remember when the Supreme Court in 2015 said that you cannot genetically patent a human being? Well, guess what? They're working on silicon beings now that try to patent silicon-like human beings. Yes, we know, Ronnie, you're very jealous. Go to get a therapist or something. Yeah. From the moment life gained a foothold on Earth, its story has been written in a DNA code of 4 letters. The molecules that pair up in the DNA helix with G, T, C, and A. The lines between humans and all life on Earth are spelled out. Now the first living organisms to thrive with expanded genetic code have been made by researchers in work that paves the way for the creation and exploitation of entirely new life forms. Yeah. It's all kinds of new DNA modifications. I'm really pissed off that they're selling genetically modified food to all of us. I play dime slot machines. It's not like I'm gambling. I never spend more than a couple dollars. It's kind of a joke. You are? Well, you should join Meow TV. He's a psychopath, too. You guys can hang out. Somebody said in our show that they're a psychopath. Okay, so a Media Verification Alliance would guarantee that we would at least see the autopsy results of places like the Pulse nightclub shooting, where we never saw any DBs. We never saw anybody, and there was nobody really honestly there to talk about their decedent. The only person that stepped up was this woman, and I'm going to show you the truth now. The only person that stepped up was this woman, Christine Lenoinen. I know, Snopes is wrong, too, on a lot of this stuff, too. Christine Lenoinen, watch this. She was the lady that spoke up about her son that died. And it's really pathetic because this woman had a speaking role at the DNC. The complete joke of jokes. Here she is at the DNC.
It takes about 5 minutes for a church bell to ring 49 times.
Hi, I'd like to be on Wheel of Fortune. I think I'd be a great contestant because I'm a lot of fun and other people would enjoy watching me win or solve or try to solve all the puzzles. I live in Central Florida. I have two kittens called Mickey and Minnie, but they're cats. This is the third time I tried to get on Wheel of Fortune.
Okay, so obviously she was a crisis actress. She's the only woman that came out, and there's still no image of this woman's gay son. We still don't know what the gay son looked like, but she got a chance to speak in front of all the DNC and claim that she's the only parent that spoke up. So we know we're being lied to. And if anything, the fake news is the mainstream media that's supporting the ideas without any autopsy reports, without any kind of true journalistic endeavors, pulling up information on dead decedents and parents. All we're seeing is fake news. So who would come out with the word fake news? The people that brought you false flags. So they started attacking the real media, which is growing on the internet every day. Idea sharing, information sharing that brings a lot more truth. And there are a lot of people with a lot of time in their hands that do the deep digging that, like I said earlier, found the kill room underneath Pegasus Museum down the street from the Comet Pizza store. And that guy openly said online that he felt threatened by Alefantis. The guy that I was discussing is at the center of this whole story. And we tend to believe that Alefantis is some fake name. Because in French, the name Alefantis, it's actually, let me show you what it looks like. It's Haim de Alphonse. Haim, something, and that's James Alefantis. The coincidence is weird and strange and really needs to be investigated. I don't even think that's his real name. So you got a guy without a real name owning a pizza store. They claim he's the 49th most powerful person in the world or in America. Either way, there's something not right here. It's just not. I'm cutting in and out. I'm getting de-doxed right now. So when we talk about Pizzagate, we're doing the exact opposite of what they want. They don't want anyone to talk about Pizzagate. God forbid they talk about Pizzagate, because that might get to the bottom of what's really going on. Well, it's in D.C., yeah, that's what I said. What will you do with your Obama impersonation? Well, I'm going to probably do, pick up dialogue whenever Obama talks, Who cares? I'm kind of not really worried about it. I'm not an investigative reporter. These guys do the work online, like this guy who was threatened by Alefantis for finding in the kill room. He was attacked. Now, the mainstream media is coming out hard against. By the glory of God, he shoots. The mainstream media is coming out hard against people like PK Truth and others who post videos. Angel is suing him for what he said about him, and this guy claims to be a real survivor of that nightclub shooting.
How? But by the glory of God, he shoots towards my head, but it hits my hand. Oh, I don't know how, but by the glory of God, he shoots towards my head, but it hits my hand.
I'm one of the ones that helped you get out of harm's way.
Wow.
I need a big
hug. What's wrong with his hand? Yeah, we could get more of that too later. Thanks for posting that. I don't impersonate anybody. I imitate people. Imitation is the highest form of flattery. Flattery is something that we want to do, right? Alrighty, so I guess that's the way it is. Pizzagate is a story that continues to evolve. One person who worked for Alefantis has said the former Ping Pong employee alleges James Alefantis sexually assaulted me. I'll give you a link to this story. Former Comet Ping Pong employee, I was sexually assaulted by James Alefantis. So there you have it. An investigation needs to be opened. Donald, what are you doing? You won't tweet about it. You don't want to talk about it. It's weird. You're avoiding sex pedophiles in Washington. Makes one wonder what's really happening here. Was he put in place because he's going to provide cover for Hillary Clinton and Podesta and Jeffrey Epstein? Is that why they handpicked him? We played a video from 1958 earlier, shocking video, that portended the future where there was a Trump who was going to build a wall to protect the people from doom. Let me play a little clip of that video for you. It's weird. And we had a person, Max came in the show. He said, did they know back in the 1950s when Trump was a little boy that they were going to pick him as the future president? Yeah. Let me play this for you. It's a little bit of it. 1958. Watch this. It's a Western.
I bring you a message few of you will be able to believe, a message of great importance, a message I alone was able to read in the fires of the universe. But be not afraid, my friends. I also bring you the means with which to save yourselves. Save us from what? From the end of the world, friend. Which I don't expect you to believe. But the rest of you, those who want to be alive tomorrow morning, I will tell you tonight. Remember that. Bring your friends here. I'll tell you tonight so that you will be able to prepare.
What are you selling, Mr. Snake Oil?
The world will come to a flaming end at midnight tonight. Without my help and knowledge, every one of you will be dead.
Notice the Masonic robe, too. Very, very interesting.
What kind of name?
Trump.
I bet it fits. Planning to remain in town for long?
Well, I understand I have until midnight.
And you've heard.
Yeah, I heard. Your name is Trump? All right, Sheriff. How long are you going to put up with this?
What do you mean?
How long are you going to let this con man walk around town?
Be careful, son. I can sue you.
How about it, Sheriff? When are you going to put the lid on?
What for?
Well, stealing is stealing, whether you do it with a gun or a mouthful of mealy words.
I don't intend to sit here and be insulted, Sheriff. If your people don't want my help, I can go elsewhere.
Wait a minute, Mr. Trump. You don't talk for the rest of us.
Since the sheriff wouldn't stop Trump, Hobie had to find somebody who would.
Sheriff?
And he was going to build a wall, too, toward the end of this piece. So, very weird, very strange. How did they know that they were going to put this little boy, Donald Trump, in the White House back in 1958? Do you think they're that powerful that they can create people from nowhere? I can tell you that I was never cultivated to become president. They've never catered to me and given me special favor. I didn't grow up with a golden spoon in my mouth. I didn't inherit $10 million from my dad like Trump did, and he spent through it in 1 year. I never borrowed to become a debtor like Trump is. Trump owes over $2.64 billion. Combined debt with others, of course, but he still owes that money, and he's still in Washington, and he's still not putting his funds in a public trust. And he's selling cabinet seats, and our country's doing nothing. And he's got Russian involvement to help him win the election, to cheat, and our government's doing nothing. Our problem is our government does nothing. That's the problem. There's nothing awesome about Trump. He borrowed 10 of my ideas to win the election. I know. Somebody said, David, you use too much eyebrow makeup. Well, I was accused of not having eyebrows. Yeah, how do you think that feels? Okay, the Furrion Elysium RV has a hot tub. Really? Okay. And why does that matter to me?
Now, if you're just a regular Joe of modest means, you may not be familiar with the name Furrion. That's because they work in the space of building appliances and consumer electronics for ultra-luxury RVs and yachts. What we're standing in the middle of right now is a showcase of all things Furrion. And let me tell you, luxury is looking really good from here. Now, in front of me, you're going to see the part of the RV that the driver interacts with when they're on the move. We've got Furrion's full LCD touchscreen infotainment here. So it's a vertical screen orientation, kind of like...
You know, I don't want to get into the whole idea of wanting to sell you a new anything. I thought I turned that mute off. I'm sorry. I hit it and then it went back on. Yeah, I don't have a lisp, but thank you for asking. That's very nice of you. Are you a speech therapist? Maybe you can help with a lot of people in the room here. Okay, great. I sneezed. Yeah, it happens when you smoke indica. Is that right? Okay. I'm not wearing lipstick. Nope. I think the coloring is off here. Let me go back to my lighting problem. I should have tuned this in earlier, but obviously things aren't working out quite the way I thought they'd be. So let me get the lipstick down to where I used to be. Bear a few minutes. I'm trying not to go down the abyss of narcissism. But when people say I'm wearing lipstick and I'm not, then something's wrong with the lighting here. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, you had to tell me, I know. All right. That's better, huh? Thanks. All right. You're so pretty. Oh, so pretty. Well, this was just a way of getting noticed that back then, and I spent $300, and the guy I was working for said he knows people in Hollywood, and he didn't. I asked them who he knew, and they finally told me they knew the producers of Hee Haw. Hee Haw. So you can imagine I was very let down. I thought I'd be getting a,
Hee Haw 001 615
Here I am at the audition.
Welcome to Hee Haw, starring Buck Owens and Roy Clark.
So I missed my big opportunity back then to become on the show, because I knew somebody who might have known somebody who was on Hee Haw. I could have been somebody. I could have been an actor on Hee Haw. I could have been a contender. I know, you want to talk about getting scammed by people? Dave, I'm getting drop frames and lag. Okay, what I'll do on my end, because I'm not dropping frames on my end, I'll pull off of Ustream. I don't know why you're getting shut down there, Scissor Fight. Do we have anybody on Ustream? I don't know. You guys check it out. If you want to check out my site on Ustream, here it is. Yeah, it's ustream.tv/channel/America's Third Party. Sometimes our actual footage comes in better over there. Let me see if I can bring this up. When you coming to Jersey? Hey, yeah, Jersey's coming to me, man. Yeah, I'm not going to Jersey. I had an opportunity to go to Long Island, New York. I chose not to. I got family out there, and I chose not to drive over the France-Bronx Expressway. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, this is my feed on Ustream here. And I don't got nobody there, so I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah, nobody's in the room right now, so I'm going to just jump off of that right now. But yeah, if you ever have a problem getting into our show, Ustream is usually a really good venue. All right. So we'll drop off of there and see if that makes any difference. How's that? I think Obama and Bush have already gone down as the worst and the worstest. Now we have a worser. We have the worser president, the worstest, and the worst. I've never been to Worcester, Mass. either. I've driven by it, but I've never been there. Dave's family is in Wyandotte, New York. No, I don't have any family out in Wyandotte. Nah. No, not from that area of the country. Hey, Bacteria, you live in New Jersey? No kidding. Man, small world, man. Yeah, I'm walking here. No, Trump he's only following my advice. So far, he's raking in all the benefits of stealing my ideas. My ideas were what he followed up on almost everywhere we turned. The fact that he's put a guy, or he's considering a guy for the FDA who's in favor of legalization of marijuana is very good. Yeah, so we'll see. I don't like the appointments he's made. The cabinet is full of Trump reptiles and anacondas. You think I look like Joe Pesci, really? They are 4 clones, originally designed by the Lawrence Livermore Laboratory to be different types of Daves. Each one has a unique aptitude and ability to communicate. For instance, we will look at Dave 1. Oh, we got a band problem here. Hang on. It's the power team. They're in. And we're on them. We have reset the proxy, and I am taking you down, buddy boy. Yeah, I got you down. I've got your whole thing. Yes. There we go. Okay. Got it. David, we need to get the scrum bag. Jerry Brown is totally a commie, El Duce. Yeah. It's a story of a guy named David who is... Now, this is my priest look. This is my party on, dude. Yeah. And this is my, hey, Mrs. DeFon's look. Hey, what's going on? Hey, don't mess around, man. And this is Mr. Friendly, yeah, this is kind of like my collegiate, I'm a collegiate guy look. So I kind of put these things together. Hi, everybody. I'm Mr. Happy. Mr. Friendly Guy. That's Mr. Friendly Guy. I just did this on the fly with some gay guy who was in West Hollywood. I'm not gay, but he was obviously gay. I did it my way. You are being terminated immediately. Yeah. Power team down. Power team resetting servers. You know, saying, look, I can't believe all the sexual harassment I put up with all my life for being me. And I got to tell you, you people are going to be charged with crimes for sexually harassing heterosexual men. If you think you can get away with it and call them, oh, you're homophobic. Sorry. You're going to jail. A lot of you homosexual men who are trying to hit on heterosexual men, you're going to jail. Yeah. Somehow, some way, we're going to prosecute you people. I'm the straightest guy you'll ever meet. Yeah. I have a very, well, I mean, I could wear different, get-ups. I don't have to be Dave, the blonde guy. I could be Dave, the brown-haired guy, Buongiorno. Buongiorno, Sarah met me in Italy outside of a beautiful pizzeria. I could be like an Italian guy. I look like a lesbian? Really? Could this get a little bit more serious? You thought I was going to pull a wig off, didn't you? Oh, hair. Okay. I know. Somebody said, oh, you're going to pull your real hair off. No, my real hair is real hair. It is real. Can you not see? Henry VIII, I am. My exoskeleton is not made of vibranium. It is made of carbon fiber, much like what you call graphene. Hey, okay, so we got a couple people that are going to be coming into our show on a daily basis, attacking everything we do. We saw this clip earlier of the, I think it's amazing how this thing survived. If you didn't see this earlier, watch this clip. Mind-blowing FedEx hit by a train. Here goes. Boom. Was that your package? It's great. The truck driver got to keep his rig. It didn't even affect his rig. He just ripped it right off. Isn't it amazing? The show started when you were born, man. Yeah. And, oh, I didn't tell you, James Comey is going to be staying. Yep. Donald Trump is reportedly keeping this guy, and I don't think he should. He's going to be keeping him. I think James Comey helped Donald Trump win, so this is kind of like payback. The crony corruption in Washington is so deep, it's unbelievable. So James Comey won't go after him for violating the laws that Rod Blagojevich violated when he sold positions or tried to sell Barack Obama's U.S. Senate seat. We're dealing with Donald Trump selling the Department of Education to what apparently is a woman who has no history of education. A woman named Betsy DeVos is now going to be Secretary of Education, and her plan is to make all of the schools charter schools and Christian schools. Everybody's going to be charter in the Christian school kids. Hello, hi, 867. So she's abandoning public education as we know it. So Donald Trump is what he's kind of doing is taking an engine that's fully functional and ripping out the carburetor, because there's no carburetor, the direct fuel injection system, and then probably dousing the entire engine with too much gas. It'll stall. Oh yeah, we're going to see major problems and hitches occur in education because of her lack of insight. If she doesn't cut the cost of education, then she's worthless. But if she goes out of her way to cut the cost of education, she'll win some respect over me. I will believe that she's onto something. Because frankly, education is like 95% administrative overruns. So we can get a handle on administrative overruns, will be good. It's not, Pole Smoker. This is not a funny political show. This is a serious, humorous show about politics. It's serious humor, not funny haha. It's like, if this was just a big joke, we wouldn't be talking at the center of the political spectrum every night. So this is obviously a mistake. I think James Comey should step down. He clearly did a lot of bad things. He was playing around back and forth between prosecuting Hillary, not prosecuting Hillary. He had the dirt on Donald's sex tapes in Moscow for 5 months and he didn't present it to anybody, clearly favoring Trump. This guy, along with Russia, controlled the election, along with a couple other groups, like New York Times ran an ad against Hillary Clinton, claiming they're going to open up a criminal investigation on her just a few days before. It was actually a front page on the New York Times a few days before the election. So they worked and conspired together with all these agencies and the Russians. So here we have Trump as our president. People around the country are pissed off to the max. Trump won't do anything about the child pedophilia ring in Washington, and he's encouraging censorship of the media. And now he's trying to betray the very media that got him elected. The CNN and Fox gave him all kinds of free time, and now he's turning on him like a rabid dog. Shows me how this guy operates. He's kind of like a shark. Eat, consume, and crap. Eat, consume, and crap. And don't even pay back to the ocean. Well, he's going to have a problem basically dismantling our country. His goal, I think Trump's goal, is to dismantle the country and give it to Russia and the UN. So we'll see if 4 years he can dismantle this country and give it to the UN and have joint Russian operations here in the United States with UN vehicles coming into your city, telling you have to go to the FEMA camps. So we'll see. The clock's ticking. Let's see if his New World Order plan can be implemented. Kissinger is basically telling him what to do. Just a matter of time before he implements his plan. Joe Pesci is here. He wants to see me furious. You'd have to see clips off of 8 years of tapes. I've only blown up 6 times. I've only gotten really pissed 6 times, and that wasn't really pissed. I'm not a mean man. I'm a very fair man and succinct. I don't have a lot of time for BS. I'll kind of tell people, hey, we have to get to the point here. I'm not going to kiss your ass for favor. You're not going to get anything by giving me a donation. We're on a track to come together on ideas, and if I were to take in pay for play like Donald is doing, this country wouldn't have a consensus. And we need to do the opposite of what Obama and Donald are doing, which is to drive the country in either direction, not toward the center. You know, I didn't blow up at Sarah. It was weird. I was talking about the pedophilia ring in Washington, D.C., and I said, how in the hell can anyone sit here and not care about 50,000 kids that are missing every year in America? I have not decided what I'm cooking on Thursday. No, I'm still working on the concept. I'll come up with it tomorrow. I heard that Obama met a couple of gay lovers in Palm Springs. Folks, if you don't know it, Obama and Michelle are a bisexual couple. They're everything about them speaks of bisexuality. I mean, you can't get two guys together in bed and call it a heterosexual couple. So, yeah, you may want to just rethink your concept of Michelle real quick when I show you this video. And I have to play it. It's the last words of the late Joan Rivers, who I respect very much so.
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a trans...
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, I failed to play that for you. Yeah. Something was wrong with the computer, so I couldn't grab the largeness of its dangling.
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman president?
We already have it with Obama, so...
Okay, so not to belabor the point, oh my God, Michelle has a penis. And I've had a lot of Democrats tell me that that this was not a penis, it was some sort of a microphone battery pack. That's one of the things they say. One person said, no, it's a colostomy bag. I want you to know that if we've been deceived by this gay couple for all this time, you realize how terribly deceived we were to elect a rich, greedy guy who could be manipulated and blackmailed by Russia for sex tapes as our president? Do you realize how incredibly naive our country is? That we would allow such a thing? Yeah, so we've got a lot of work to do to get to a point where we understand critical thinking. Many of you have lost your ability to critically think. You somehow think that we have honest people in government. I mean, that's a real misconception. Many of you are in that belief. You think I should make summer sausage? You know, I've got a really good recipe for a lentil soup with summer sausage. And I've got some summer sausage I got last summer, and right now it's sitting in a large log. Lentil soup for Thursday? Is that good? 20 people for $5? Yeah, you're delusional if you think Michelle's a woman, dude. I just showed you Michelle's penis. What the hell's wrong with you? Are you unable to have an intelligent thought in your head? Yeah. If I showed you a gaping orifice, would that help? I think I'm probably the only person with the intelligence enough to understand the universe. Yeah. I disagree. I think I'm a lot bigger than Michelle. Yeah. You know what they say about Norwegian men is true. Yeah. Just tuned in to be entertained for a few minutes. Second time here. Hello. Pilot, I remember you were in earlier the other night. Yeah. You're lucky you can get in. Some people from your country are not able to come into our show. Well, let's just talk about penis size all night long and show your intelligence level. Okay? Yeah. Let's just have a nice, friendly, intellectual discussion about penis size. I just think this whole chat room is really showing your true colors. I'm serious. Trump brought the whole thing up. I never talked about penis size on this show. Well, let me tell you, Pilgrim. John Wayne was the same height as me. Pole Smoker, I think it's time for you to go find yourself a lover behind the restroom in your local neighborhood. God. Well, let me tell you, if you know the truth about history, we should all look at the biggest guy in the whole world. John Derringer. Did you hear that John Derringer's manhood was put in a museum after he died? Yeah. New lawsuit accuses Google of AdSense fraud. We've seen this happen before. Google is continually, they buy their own ads. They buy their own ads. They're literally buying ads and then they pay themselves money. It's a scam, the whole AdSense thing. You know, Facebook, Google is a 50% shareholder of Facebook or more. And they have to buy Facebook advertising. So Facebook literally created their entire corporation. Mark Zuckerberg created his whole corporation on the backs of Google. They couldn't have done it any other way. So Google offered to buy $100 million in advertising a year. Thank you. Google is inflating its stock price. Google is a fraud committed by our government. They're using the social network of Google and Facebook and Twitter and Reddit and Microsoft to mine information. When Mark Zuckerberg, which isn't even a real name, by the way, it's a fake name. Mark Zuckerberg, there's no history of the Zuckerberg family. It doesn't exist. Mark Zuckerberg was created because he's the grandson of David Rockefeller. And he had his face changed a little bit, and he got all kinds of money. And you know how I know that? I wouldn't doubt it. He's getting pegged. Let's get pitted in a bit, shall we? I know that because Mark Zuckerberg offered WhatsApp $19 billion. Nobody had ever given even $2 billion more than, the YouTube was $2 billion when they bought YouTube. But somehow WhatsApp has, the guy who created WhatsApp, the code, a couple pages of code, got $19 billion from a kid. That's right, Mark Zuckerberg, from a kid named David Rockefeller's grandson. I think his name is Mark Greenfield, or Greenberg, Mark Greenberg. Mark Jacob Greenberg. And he changed his face. He had a few modifications. I can show you their picture. That's right, that's a good name. But there's very little we know about these people, and they get the power, and they don't know how to really hide it, and they do a good job of pretending to be, new thinkers. Mark Zuckerberg, the story's even weirder. He stole the idea from two twins in college, and maybe another guy. We don't know. I know you're taking your glasses off and you're going, "Whoa, dude, you're like." Opening my mind, dude. I know. Yeah, it's like, whoa, man. So pitted. Anyway. Freaking out. So, when you look at the end game, it's all about control of the social network. So they needed a sugar mountain. That's what Zuckerberg means in German, or an Austrian or Swiss or whatever. They needed a sugar mountain. They needed to mine the data streams, so they chose to create Mark Zuckerberg, and they gave him everything. He didn't have any problem stealing the ideas, paying off the lawsuit. The two twins got $166 million. That's all they got for creating the idea. So these people are in to win. They're not going to give up. They're not pretending to, somehow not control the universe. They're going to give their kids and their grandkids all the power they could possibly want. But here he is. Start the damn show. Here he is. And if you adjust their faces and maneuver them a little bit, you're looking at the same guy. They had an ear job. They pull his ears in, but the nose is identical. The mouth is identical at a different position. And it's just pretty obvious. When he was busted for marijuana possession, he had some face work, and they gave him a whole new identity. They wanted to strike a fresh ground for this young up-and-comer, David Rockefeller's grandson. He inherited all the money. It's the same dude. Hey, I can show you pictures of people who've had facial reconstruction that'll blow your mind. A totally different look, completely. Like the truth about Paul McCartney, Is this the same guy? Actually, it probably is. Let me show you a picture that just doesn't match with Paul McCartney. That's a big story in and of itself. If you want to pursue the truth about the Beatles, that's a long, long plan. It takes forever. I've taken years just finding out about the Beatles and how they were a social programming utility of the Tavistock Institute. But here's the real Paul, and there's the Fall that we know today as Paul McCartney, a.k.a. Paul McCartney. Different ear entirely. So these two faces are a 66% match. The Tavistock Institute ran into a problem with the original Paul. He tried to gain control over the group and felt he had proprietary control, that he didn't realize he was just a paid studio musician. And it's very strange because they had already planned on replacing him in March of 1966, and by August of 1966, they were fed up with Paul. And he went out and ended up dying. They already had a replacement. I don't know if that's modus operandi for killing him, but they definitely had a replacement for him, and that was the guy that we know today as Fall, or Paul McCartney. Yep, he had an ear job. That's right. Sounds nasty. Fall is more talented. Fall is the guy we can really attribute a lot of the later success of the Beatles. His music was phenomenal, and then he went on to do 9 years as leader of the Wings, Paul McCartney and Wings. So I show a lot of respect for this guy, Fall. That's right. And according to the last testament of George Harrison, Paul McCartney really is dead. Yeah. So the story we were led to believe in the 60s that Paul had died was true. They made it seem like it was some whack job conspiracy theory. So there we go. The show started an hour ago, and you found out the truth about Paul McCartney, and possibly wonder if Mark Zuckerberg was replaced or somebody else prior, and he had his face changed. All right, so the real things, the truth that we really need to talk about, aside from the fact that Google and AdSense is all fraud and they've been manipulating everybody. Oh, I found a really cool site. You can actually type in names and have Trump say them. Introducing Clash. See what Clash can do. Okay, turn your sound on. My fellow great again.
My fellow great again.
My fellow great again.
My fellow great again.
Any words we want to say is like you know what's really weird? It doesn't have the word Americans in there. My fellow Americans, I am going to make America great again. Let's see what that sounds like. My fellow Americans.
My fellow
Americans.
I am going to make America great again.
There you go. Sounds like, hardly doesn't even sound like him. Well, here's the link if you want to play it out. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Ivanka Trump vacationing with the Putins. I think we talked about that a couple nights ago. This has been a nonstop discussion about why Ivanka is good friends with Putin's girlfriend. They were seen together August 16th in someplace. Wendy Dang Murdoch is now Putin's girlfriend, is good friends with Ivanka Trump. They were vacationing in Croatia August 16th. Now, Trump said he didn't really know Putin, but his daughter knew Putin's girlfriend. I mean, I'm a little confused. Is Trump lying about his relationship with Putin? You think? You think? Wow. So Trump is an agent of Russia. He's controlling our country's destiny to sell us off to the UN, and you Trump-tards fell for it. That's my take on the whole thing. Press F4 to key to enhance video quality. I don't think so. Dave, this reminds me of you, bacteria. You want to hang out with Ivanka and Wendy Dang Murdoch? I love this song. I'm going to play it later tonight. Lucky Man. One of the best Emerson, Lake and Palmer songs. For real. Wow. Thank you. We'll kick off our evening show with that. I can't play it now, otherwise they monetize me. Emerson, Lake and Palmer would probably try to get money from our show. Every time people watch it, I agree. Alec Baldwin is the best Trump impersonation I've ever seen. I can't do Trump because I'm not a greedy New Yorker who likes to, I can't get my mouth to look like that. Yeah, so we're drifting into the hour of power. It's a Christian term. Bless you. Okay, so Donald Trump is already disappointing his supporters, according to this article. Yeah. In fact, the Trump regrets are still piling in. They don't like the fact that he filled the swamp up with all of these cronies in business. It's crazy. The media needs to put pressure on him hard and repeatedly call him out for his terrible behavior, poor decisions, and pathetic lies. He admittedly fears the media, and it's the only hope the U.S. has to change him or have him resign. Trump, if there's one thing I've learned from dealing with politicians over the years, it's that the only, and I don't know the rest of what you said. Yeah, I agree with you, Mohammed Dolomide. Yeah. Very true. It's very, very unfortunate that the media is so stilted and politically correct. And Donald Trump can rip him a new one with his foul mouth and his ability to just kind of swagger and call people names. It's a pathetic tool that he uses, but it's something that anyone in his position does use effectively. The left versus the right. This is from Anonymous Australia. Let's take a look at this. Okay, I took a look at it. This is a propaganda. Actually, it's called controlled opposition by our government. I don't know if it's Anonymous Australia, but you can look at the government of England, Canada, and Australia and say that they're all living under the shadow of Britain and British rule. But I believe that Anonymous has been co-opted, much like WikiLeaks and all these other news agencies like Reddit and Twitter. So I don't really trust what I'm seeing there. They're trying to drive a wedge between people and turn our country into it's like a movie intro, yeah. It's like professionally done. David, you look younger than ever. What's your secret? Oil of Olay. It's a combination of keeping my my skin out of the sun, and not really cutting back on vitamins, maintaining vitamins, and rinsing my face off in the shower. It helps. Do not allow anyone to tell you that it can't be done. No challenge can match the heart and fight of the midst. Wow, you're really, what do you like, the Trump parade, the hit parade? Hey, rectal exam. Yeah, you really bought into it, didn't you? Yeah. Oh, and a crap load of coffee. It's an antioxidant. I've got an uncle that looks like he's 65 years old and he's like 80. It's because he's drinking all the time. He's pickled. His entire face is like 1/3 gin tonic. Every time I see him, he's got gin and tonic breath. And I don't see him very often, thank God. But apparently you can pickle yourself at a certain age. We love you so much, Potato Girl. Thank you, Potato Girl. So he's disappointed his Trump supporters. Huffington has a whole list of the regret page here. Trump regrets, if you want to read about them, here they are. Thank you very much, Potato Girl.
Thank you for checking the mail.
Yeah, I got the mail. It was stuffed. You got your book too. Here's one of the strangest Trump emails that I've ever seen, or Twitter's messages I've ever seen. It's very strange. It belies a deeper problem with Trump. He wrote this in 2013. He said, 26,000 unreported sexual assaults in the military and only 238 convictions? What did these geniuses expect when they put men and women together? So he thinks men and women getting together are going to lead to sexual misconduct. This is the words of a guy who's been accused of groping, walking into the Miss Teen USA pageant.
Like
I know, it's like brand
presents.
new. Yeah, really. He walked into the Miss Teen USA pageant and he actually said, "Don't mind me." He went into the dressing rooms of 15-year-old girls. "Don't mind me. It's nothing I haven't seen before."
That's so cool.
So she got a brand new book, but it's only cost a little bit, right?
I'm so excited.
Cultural literacy.
Cultural literacy. What every American needs to know.
Yeah, so you get the background behind the language.
Well, it's not just the background behind the language. I was going to tell people, give David a break when he wants.
Yeah, I'm ready to take a break. This is Sarah, by the way.
Is this dictionary?
She's going to give me assistance in the show to help me work on some dinner.
Oh, this is so cool. I love the way it's set up too, because it's like not set up like a dictionary alphabetical. You can do that. Look at it like a dictionary in the index. But it's set up like this. I'm going to read to just the table of contents. I'm so excited.
Good.
First, what you need to know about the Bible, what you need to know about mythology and folklore, proverbs, idioms, world literature, philosophy and religion, literature in English, conventions of written English, fine arts, world history to 1550, world history since 1550, American history to 1865,
Wow.
American history since 1865, world politics, American politics, world geography, American geography, anthropology, psychology and sociology, business and economics, physical sciences and mathematics, earth sciences, life sciences, medicine and health, technology. Now, this is as of 2002, so...
Yeah. I believe there's another book that we could get. It's The People's History of the United States.
I know some people really like the People's History of the United States. I've heard that's kind of like a real liberal thing.
Oh, is it?
But that's okay, we can look at it.
Columbus, the Indians, Human Progress.
I know a lot of liberals read that.
I've been referred to this by
the
liberals.
Socialist Challenge.
Yeah.
You know. Well, but if it's all online, I'll look at it.
No, I don't really care.
Well,
I'm not.
I'd bookmark it.
Oh, should I?
Yeah.
I have a dog nearby. Okay. Hang on. Wow. I think I've got too much going on in there in the background. This is not a wig. This is my real hair.
Who posted the link and then David clicked out of it, so somebody posted again. The People's History. I'll do that.
All right. Hi, Dave. Thanks. You know, I was just reading Mohammed Al-Lamide's assessment on...
That's not the link.
No. Mohammed Al-Lamide's assessment on Trump and how he's a poor student and he never, really did well in school, and he kind of he's like a floating balloon that just travels in the wind. 14 seconds is about as long of an attention span he has. And it's ironic that now you're asking me, what is your stance on climate change? Well, climate change is very real. So despite what Trump and his team says, it really is happening, and it's because they're artificially engineering our weather. They're dumping massive chemtrails across the skies of America and Europe, and it's happening daily. And it's going on right now under the auspices of official governmentally approved operations, yet no one sees any evidence that's really justified by our officials. This is not a comb over. This is my hair, dude. Obama sealed his school records because he's probably not truly a good student either. He probably never even graduated from Harvard. The Breeze says, hello, Mr. and Mrs. Sponheim. Well, Sarah and I aren't married yet, but we might be married someday.
I was going to teach people what they need to know.
The climate change thing has gotten half the world on alert. Are you worried? I am. I'm extremely concerned because they are poisoning the atmosphere. They're spraying us like insects. That is ridiculous. How can I be a robot from Pluto? That is preposterous. Yeah, I'll be right back. Thanks.
All right. So choose your subject. What subject would you like to know about? I'm going to teach. Hello. I don't want to get married. All right, economics. Let's see what page economics is on. Business and economics, 448. We'll start with that. I'm getting there. Just one moment. So close. All right, business and economics. I'm going to make an audiobook of this eventually. Economics is a social science that deals with the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. Business may refer to any gainful economic activity, or more narrowly, to organizations that produce and distribute commodities. Basically, economics is a branch of investigation and study where business connotes activity. Yet the two terms increasingly overlap. Once thought of as a knack or skill that could never be taught in school, business developed claims to scientific status in the 20th century. Today, there are schools of business administration that, much like departments of economics, engage in study and investigation. Both economic theory and the growing emphasis on the study of business have spilled over from the universities into the public forum. Awesome. Thank you, 3 viewers. I am furry a little bit. All right. The 1990s saw one of the longest periods of sustained growth in American history. A rise in productivity, low rates of unemployment, modest inflation, low interest rates, and the popularity of dot-coms contributed to a boom in the stock market. By 1997, American households held 28% of their assets in stock. Oh, who dresses me? My sister got me this jacket. I bought this sweater. So that's good. As the baby boomers of the 1940s and 1950s reached their peak earning years, they prepared for retirement by contributing to pension plans, which plunged huge amounts of money into stocks and bonds. Less obvious, but no less important, the deregulation of financial institutions by the federal government and periodic changes in the federal tax code have raised the threshold of financial knowledge for Americans. Huffington Post? I'm not interested. As late as the 1950s, banks barely advertised. Savings and loan associations did not offer checking accounts, and insurance companies concentrated on selling insurance. Now, all of these institutions advertise and compete with one another by offering similar services. For example, all of them offer pension and retirement plans, and individual investors must be able to sort out and assess their rival claims. Is this a point-click escape the room game? No. An AMRS video? What is AMRS? Is gold a good idea? Yes, as long as you have it as a tangible asset and you hold it in your hand, not paper gold. You're sorry you chose this topic. This is a good topic. To do so, ordinary Americans need not become professors of economics, however. They must understand the difference between stocks and bonds. Yes, obviously you're allowed here. And they should understand why the stock market tends to decline when the interest rates rise. You're bored? You don't feel like you're learning? Just sit back, relax, you're learning. This section provides the basic definitions necessary for threading one's way not only through political debates about the future of the economy, but also through the rival claims of financial institutions. JFK. Who's JFK? Joseph F. Kent. I like his initials. JFK. Joseph F. Kent. Ket. Focus. No. Absenteeism. Habitual absence from work. Thought to reflect employee demoralization or dissatisfaction. When people don't show up to work, it's because they might not want to be there. No, I can't wear contact lenses. Accounting, the system of recording and auditing business transactions. See audit. Audit, the examination by an outside party of the accounts of an individual or corporation. You need the definition again? Get the book. I have heard net neutrality will hit the consumer pretty hard. If you'd like to talk about why that is, I can go into a little bit of detail. Basically, net neutrality is the idea that internet service providers cannot charge you based on your, they cannot basically throttle you based on your what you do or how much you use. But they're going to they possibly will start charging you more for how much you use and where you use it. If you're, okay, internet providers treat all websites equally. Small businesses and new companies can compete with large companies. That's called net neutrality. Without net neutrality, no small company will ever be able to compete with companies that are worth billions. Good points. Muhammad Old Maid. All right, act of God is a natural catastrophe like a hurricane, an earthquake, or a volcanic eruption. As a legal term relating to property damage, it appears in insurance contracts. After the flood, Popovich was dismayed to discover that his house was not insured against acts of God. In contracts dealing with the delivery of goods and services, the term is used to protect the parties from litigation over delays or failures in performance owing to circumstances beyond their control. Than the Arch Linux forum, I'm more brutal. Thank you for thinking that. I do have an awesome ring. Cha-ching! Vice? Well, vice isn't always a bad word. It's like something you can treat yourself to. It's like, it's what you like to do. You don't know much about what's going to happen to healthcare. Will it be cut? Well, the thing is that healthcare is, right now, it's under the Affordable Care Act, and that requires everyone to have insurance, and they can be penalized in their taxes if they don't have a certain amount of insurance. There is also so there's also the idea, and it's become very expensive for many people, but there's the idea that if people go with the idea that maybe Trump will go with the free market and not require people to have insurance. It was a scam, totally, Jello beans. I personally believe healthcare, I have some really good ideas for healthcare. Are you listening, Mr. Trump? Because here's the idea for healthcare. I know you might not like it, but I like it. I love this. All right, here is the idea for healthcare. We model healthcare as a system similar to our public education system, insofar as our public education system currently provides service to people that don't have to pay out of pocket to millions of individuals nationwide. We also regulate the knowledge that the service providers, aka the teachers, have to have in order to provide that service. People can always go and purchase additional services, aka private schools, so private healthcare, if they so choose. So I think that we should have we don't cover everything in the education sector. Like, we don't cover colleges. So I believe that, and the second thing I do believe is that, yes, a little bit, Mohammed, I do also believe that we should have a system, and David might not believe the same thing I believe. I also believe that we should have doctors actually in our public school system so that students are not missing education to travel to and from a doctor's office, let alone if they actually need to see a doctor and their parents can't afford to do so. You think healthcare is for all and you're not a Democrat or Republican? I agree. I'm the same exact way. I believe healthcare is for all. I'm not a Democrat or Republican. And I believe that we can do that much more affordably. Currently, public education is paid for with people's property tax funding, and part of it is from income taxes, federal dollars. So I think that we can fund it in a similar manner. If not, I know a lot of people talk about a single payer option, and that's a possibility too. I think that if we actually had doctors if we thought of our society more of a community, I think we would be heading in the right direction. Well, that could be covered through what we currently do with Medicaid, Free Throw 7792. Well, I believe in a baseline plus system. I believe we have enough resources to have a better baseline than homelessness and hunger. And I believe that people should also be encouraged to work beyond the baseline. Yes, the way for our society to act like a community is to begin with you and I. That's just my personal opinion. It's not necessarily that of America's Third Party or David. All right, actuary is a mathematician who uses statistics to calculate insurance premiums. I don't think that there's any way to actually prove that, Rule 34U. Well, I think it's about both individual needs and community, but I do think that we can build we can have a better sense of community in our country. Affluent society, a society in which scarcity of resources is not the predominant condition, and a general level of economic well-being has been achieved by most members of society. The term was made current by John Kenneth Galbraith in the Affluent Society, which described conditions in the United States after World War II. Conventional economic theory is based on the assumption that resources are scarce. Therefore, it makes increasing production in the private sector and limiting interference and regulation from the government a priority. In Galbraith's Affluent Society, this priority is misplaced because scarcity is not predominant. The continued pursuit of conventional economic objectives in an affluent society leads to the conditions Galbraith observed in post-war America: private sector affluence and public sector squalor. For example, affluence in the private sector led to the mass availability of automobiles. Because public sector interference in the form of regulation and taxation was discouraged, however, governments could not afford to build adequate roadways to accommodate those automobiles. I think that we still live in an affluent society. Thank you, Rule 34. Well, you can put you can work to get whoever you like on the ballot. Who knows? Maybe they will in debt. And I think that we are completely... 550 says you don't agree. Most of the products are built with planned obsolescence. So you hate to say it. Oh, wait. So while it may seem affluent, it's not truly affluent because everything breaks down. Affluency and monarchies. Could you compare? Well, the monarchies themselves are affluent, but the people that are underneath them are not necessarily affluent. Aww. That's such a great honor. Thank you, all you Reddit people. Reddit. I read it. I'm reading it. Oh, yes. Potato Girl's right. Link those Reddit postings. We don't believe them. All right. I love you too. Agribusiness, the part of the economy devoted to the production, processing, and distribution of food, including the financial institutions that fund these activities. Agribusiness emphasizes agriculture as a big business rather than as a work of small family farms. And I think that's one of the other things. Not necessarily, because the poorest people in the United States are more affluent than some of the richest people in poorer countries. 597. Rule 34U says the duty cycles of the equipment we get today is far under our technical capabilities. They make things that break on purpose. I agree with that. It is called built-in obsolescence because they purposely build things to break so that you will have to pay to replace them. It's very, very sad, and I believe that we are capable of much greater things. So we need to, that's the thing, is that I want to envision a world almost beyond economics and really go back to community and things like that. Hello, Evil Banker. Yes, factory farming can provide nutritionally inferior produce. Sometimes they would say that, and sometimes they would say that they provide all the vitamins and minerals that people need. So it's one of those things. I did not go to the Women's March. I did, however, listen to an NPR story about how the Women's March in 1913 was very important. The Women's March at the inauguration in 1913 was very important, which helped women get the right to vote. Women's suffrage didn't happen until, 100 years ago. Wow. Sarah, how can foreigners start new businesses every day when they can barely speak English, while Trump supporters claim it's too complicated to start a new business? Too much regulation. One of the big things in debt is that some foreigners are considered refugees, and some refugees are actually given certain dollar allowances that non-refugees, normal U.S. citizens, do not have access to, and some of those refugees start businesses with their own money. And the other thing about the foreigners coming in to start business with their own money is they have this American ideal, this American dream already in their head that, they can come here and start things. And the people that actually immigrate into our country are those go-getters. They wouldn't get out of their own country if they weren't a go-getter. Hello, 662. This is about politics, news, current events, politics. And my name's Sarah. You'll meet a gentleman in a little while named David Sponheim, who's running for president and has ran for president since 2008. You're a noob in discerning body language, but this is a good starting point. Yeah, it's so sad, Mohammed. Sarah, what do you think of Trump's new executive orders the past 2 days? I've heard about him basically ending the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which I think is a step in the right direction. I think that we need to work with individual countries rather than to try to conglomerate everything into one big trade agreement. I haven't read all of the other executive orders that he has signed. I'll have to look into those. All right, next. American Stock Exchange. Traditionally, the second largest stock exchange in the United States after the New York Stock Exchange. The American Stock Exchange is in New York City. It is often identified in financial pages as AMEX. In 1998, the American Stock Exchange, AMEX, merged with the NASD, which runs the NASDAQ exchange. Are you worried about yourself, Bagel Boy? Have big dreams and start pursuing them. Okay. Yes, and the big thing about the trade agreements is really about bringing back the American worker. Okay, so you're thinking of the furniture industry in the South. Wow, you either type fast or you're taking it from somewhere. I didn't see all of your logical questions. I was reading, so maybe that's why. Yes, true. So Mohammed says, you think of the furniture industry in the South and the textile industry decimated by the transfer of manufacture out of the U.S. It's popular and convenient to blame automation, but that's not the whole story. It's a lot of its jobs going overseas. Oh, right. The other one was the Keystone Pipeline, correct? I did hear something about him signing an executive order about the Keystone Pipeline. And I'm not totally sold on the pipeline. However, I do believe a pipeline is a much better way of transporting fuel than through trucks. Amortization is a term that refers either to the gradual paying off of a debt in regular installments over a period of time, or to the depreciation of the book value, that is the standard assessed value of an asset over a period of time. So either paying off a debt over time or the price of something going down over a period of time. Amortization. Annuity. A sum of money payable yearly or at regular intervals. Many people's retirement funds are set up to be paid in annuities. Huh. Oh. So a sum of money payable yearly or at regular intervals. Nice. Working with the deflations in the investments once paid. Yes. Appraisal, a formal evaluation of property by an expert used to establish its market value. Appraisal. Thanks for the hearts. Assembly line is a line of factory workers and equipment along which a product being assembled passes consecutively from operation to operation until completed. Assembly lines are found in many industries, but are particularly associated with automobile manufacturing. Yes, market value, the high end of what's... Well, not always. Yes, yeah, you're right. Market value, the high end of what it's worth, so they can tax you at what everyone would pay, even though it's not necessarily what you would pay. Assessment, the appraisal of property for the purposes of taxation. Asset, a possession that can be turned into cash to cover liabilities. Commonly, the term denotes anything of value is an asset. No, this is not a third grade book. It's what every American needs to know. What would you like to know about, Mr. Exam? A lot of people don't know this, and they should. Thank you, Chico. I'm not clicking on links right now, Bacteria. You need this book? You lost the name the other day? It's called The Cultural Literacy, What Every American Needs to Know by E.D. Hirsch. And this one was written in 2002. He since has not written an updated version. I think it is relevant. And however, he has started creating like educational materials for classrooms. Exactly. Kids, I agree with that statement, 550. Kids should learn this in grade 3, but some of them never learn it. Sarah, what is alternative facts? A term created by the Trump administration to claim what they believe is the truth. I know, John and Cage. Well, tell me, John, of what would you like to know? What do you think you might need some brushing up on? How big are the words? Well, do you know about there's no joy in Mudville? Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller. Dividends. You want to know about dividends? Okay, I'll look up dividends. Anti-disestablish is... You forgot the AB. If you just put an AB in there, 876, you're only missing 2 letters. Okay, New York PD1 says what you need to know. Where is the good value, where cost food is, and how to get to decent jobs. Is that a book, a dictionary, or listed as what? It was on Amazon, and I just put in cultural literacy. Cultural literacy. I think it's worth it. And since I do teach younger kids, maybe the third graders, apoptosis. It is thought some forms of cancer may result when this process of cell death is somehow interrupted, allowing cells to grow unchecked, with the result being a cancerous tumor. Apoptosis. Is that a good reading book? It's more like an encyclopedia. Like it's set up like an encyclopedia or dictionary. But what's kind of apoptosis? It's kind of cool because it has, first it's got the contents. So I'll read the contents again, which is pretty cool. So first they have their preface and their introduction to the first edition, the theory behind the dictionary, how to use this dictionary. Then they have little short definitions for words that people should know, like everything you should know about the Bible. Obviously, this is not the whole Bible, but it's like the things that people kind of agree on that people should know about the Bible. You're reading the phone directory, you might as well read this. This is probably more valuable to you than the phone directory. Okay, thank you, Potato Girl. There are not pop-ups, but there are, I will tell you this, there are pictures like the Mona Lisa and Michelangelo, the creation of Adam from Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel. There's also other pictures in here, like of insides of things. You dated a glass user and she was lost until you cleaned her glasses. Okay. Yes, agreed, 550. Try not to polarize people. Work with your community. I like to wear coats. Like, we can read about medicine and health. Maybe that's more important to you than economics. I haven't been following them, 597, to be honest. Genetic counseling, digestive system, cirrhosis, cerebral palsy, botulism, CDC, T-cell, PCR, which is the polymerase chain reaction, metamorphosis, hominids, homeotic genes, genes that control the development of an animal's body plan, cellular respiration, the Van Allen belts. Ooh, that's good. That's in here. Earth science. So there's physical science, earth science, physical science and mathematics, earth science, life science, medicine and health technology. I think those would be like the most interesting. We did go to the moon. I'm going to go to physical science and mathematics. Even though I should do life science. Let's hear how we can't get past them. Yeah, Apollo made it through. Oh, wait. That was in the end. It was at the end of physical science. No, it was at the end of earth science. The Van Allen belt. Was it? Where was it? Physical science. Oh, wait. Earth science. There we go. Van Allen belt. Either of two layers of electrically charged see the electrical charge particles held in orbits above the atmosphere by the magnetic field of the Earth. The belt is named after its discoverer, the 20th century American physicist James Van Allen. Volcano, a cone-shaped mountain or hill created by molten material that rises from the interior of the Earth to the surface. Volcanoes tend to occur along the edges of tectonic plates. Eruptions and lava flows associated with them can be very destructive. See Mount St. Helens. This is kind of cute. It's a little picture of a volcano and Mount St. Helens, I believe. Volcano eruption. You can't believe David really believes we never landed on the moon. I know what you mean. I just try to ignore it. Okay. All right. Life science, medicine and health, technology, superconductivity, ultra high frequency. Oh, they have VHS, very high frequency, radio waves with frequencies between 30 and 300 megahertz compared to UHF. UHF, ultra high frequency, radio waves with frequency that runs between 300 and 3000 megahertz. Very high frequency versus ultra high frequencies. This is Jeopardy, no, but it would actually prepare you for Jeopardy. I know, 442. Exactly. You did the elliptical for 45 minutes today, burning 600 calories. Good job. Would I go on Jeopardy? Only after I read this book. I like that show too. It's actually a Mongolian fur from a Mongolian goat. Ooh, Marlon Brando. Fine arts. This is where I'm kind of like not that good at. Fine arts. Ooh, I'm gonna go to... I have all... There's so many cool things in here. Literature and English. Okay, which category would you like? There is the Bible, mythology and folklore, proverbs, idioms, world literature, philosophy and religion, literature in English, conventions of written English, fine arts, world history, the Bible for $100. Let's see, the Bible. Abraham and Isaac. Wait, I should ask you this. Who is the first two patriarchs of the Old Testament? According to the book of Genesis. That was Abraham and Isaac. Let me go to another one. Who, in the Bible, the first man and first woman, who are these? The book of Genesis tells that God created by creating life, breathing life into the dust of the grounds. This is, let's see what you know about the Bible.
This is wonderful. This is
later God created
Go ahead.
from Adam's rib. God placed these two in the Garden of Eden. None of you... Oh, Mad Dog has it correct. Which category would you like now?
Eyebrows and overuse of eyebrow pencil. The category. The category is eyebrows.
Category. We can do medicine and health.
Well, that doesn't relate to eyebrow pencil.
Why not? Anthropology, psychology, and sociology.
David Nation, wow, man. Y'all were a little upset with that I muted you that time. You haven't come back since. It's been like 2 months. What happened? You got your feelings hurt or something? You threw away your mattress. We've got NSA logging in. IPs from Maryland just popped up. I don't monitor the IPs here, so thank you for telling me 648. Welcome, folks at the NSA. Good evening.
Like world history for 200.
We're trying to figure out if Sarah's really in love with this book or not.
Would you like world history from 1550 or world history since 1550?
What is since 1550?
Since 1550? All right.
This is incredible. This is better than an anthology. This is like the complete
It's what every
History.
American needs to
Yeah,
know.
the world history since 1550. Yeah,
Okay.
she's in love with this book. Yeah, it's great. I have a book that
This
predates this
person
called
was a Marxist who was elected president of Chile in 1970. He set the country on a radical course which aroused opposition from the middle class and the army. He was overthrown and died during an army coup supported by the CIA in 1973. He remains a hero to many on the left wing in Latin America.
Okay.
What is his name?
Oh, that's tough. The lag is heavy. I know. It's the NSA. They just came in. Hi, Ashley.
Incorrect. It's not Che Rivera.
It is not.
It's not Eve. That was from... The Adam and Eve was from the Bible. His name was Salvador Allende.
Allende. Yes.
Allende.
A Marxist who was elected president of Chile in 1970.
Incorrect. I don't know the one. Okay, this is weird, Larry. Okay. Oh, thanks, Scissor Fight. Alright.
Hey, so I was talking about books. I got a book that predates all your books.
Yeah, that's true.
And was a very controversial book way back. It was a book a friend of mine showed me in the 1980s, and it's very interesting. It talks about America before Christ. When the Druids happened, apparently there's evidence that people before Christopher Columbus might have landed here. Yeah.
I should
America
like
BC by
take a
Barry
picture of the category of the contents and say which category would you like, and then open to a page in the category and say you would like American politics.
Yeah.
Okay. An automatic veto of a bill that occurs if the president or governor neither signs nor vetoes a bill within 10 days of receiving it, as long as the legislature adjourns during that period. If the legislature...
Automatic veto.
What is this term called? As long as the legislature adjourns during that period. If the legislature convenes during that period, the bill will automatically become law.
Nice glasses, spot on.
Thank you so
This
much.
cannot be overridden by the legislature, though the bill can be reintroduced at the next legislative session.
Is this a quiz?
Yes.
I'm not doing quizzes. I told you that. I don't like the feeling of competition.
The term is pocket veto.
Pocket veto. What is the Celtic rock found in New Hampton, New Jersey? Oh, I'm sorry. So yeah, we really kind of need to move on to politics. But Sarah, you've been very educational. You're teaching history now. This is
We'll
awesome.
do what kind of science would you like? Would you like physical science and mathematics, earth science, life science, medicine and health, or technology?
The pocket veto, yes.
You're welcome. I know Dave is kicking me out now.
No. I'm
medicine.
I'm not.
All right, coming up with medicine. 546. I love this. This is going to be my favorite new things. What is the soft, specialized connective tissue that fills the cavity of bones? One kind of this substance is responsible for manufacturing red blood cells in the body. Good job. Ding, ding, ding. 724 is correct. Marrow. Good job, everybody. Nice. Pat yourself on the back. All right. What is an acute and contagious disease caused by a virus and characterized by the outbreak of small red spots on the skin? It occurs most often in school-aged children. Ding, 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 ding. 648 has it correct. Measles. All right. What makes white people white? Is it the lack of melatonin? Or is it too much melatonin? It has to do with melatonin. Pigmentation? Oh, that's so funny. 824. Oh, wait. Actually, it's a lack of melanin. Because melanin is a dark brown coloring found in the body, especially in the skin and hair, produced by special skin cells that are sensitive to sunlight. Melanin protects the body by absorbing ultraviolet radiation from the sun. The amount of melanin present in the skin determines the color of a person's complexion. People with a large amount have dark skin, whereas those with very little have fair skin. Melanin is also responsible for tanning. Melanin.
Tanning. You know there are areas of your body that don't have melanin in them? Do you know what areas?
Yes.
Okay, what areas? Your hair?
Well, I would think your scalp still has melanin.
It does.
I was
Your
going
scalp
to say what Carter said.
I lusted after a Playboy magazine. I'll definitely lust after a Playboy magazine.
Yes, melatonin is a vitamin. I was confusing that.
Melanin is not present in genitalia area. So your
well, if you're
genitals
going to talk about that, then I'm going to talk about this. The periodic series of changes in the female reproductive system associated with the preparation of the uterus for pregnancy. This cycle is repeated roughly every 28 days. During this time, an ovum is released from one of the ovaries, this release is called ovulation, and it develops an inner lining enriched with blood. Yes, good menstrual cycle. To prepare for the possibility of implantation of a zygote.
Which is the union of the two gametes.
Fertilization and implantation do not take place. The lining of the uterus is discharged during menstruation.
It's a cleaning process by which women are ready for the next opportunity to have a baby.
They have full outlines of the muscular system here.
Well, I'll be darned.
Isn't that cool?
Well, that'd be special. You know, it's amazing that Mr. Rogers never did a show on sexual reproduction.
It's pretty cool.
It'd be kind of special
it has
to do that.
Drawings in here, like the muscular system.
Zygote.
Okay, zygote.
It's
yeah,
zygote.
David's always the one that's saying zygote.
I said zygote because I used to find it funny.
And the bone structure.
And the bone structure.
And the other structures.
Won't you be my neighbor?
Like
hey,
that.
Sarah.
That's why I can't leave this around school.
We can't talk about the reproductive body parts. You know, I think 11 years old is the beginning age for sex education in a basic way. You know, hygiene and whatnot.
As long as there's parents' permission.
Okay, there you have it. As long as you have parents' permission. Well, with the new Secretary of Education, we won't need parents' permission. We'll need God's permission.
But this is really good for adults. What every American needs to know. I really recommend this book.
Well, that's good. I recommend the National Anthology and the American Encyclopedia Britannica.
Well, what's nice about this is you don't have to read an entire encyclopedia.
I know, but you can read 476 pages of this.
It's only 600 pages.
Oh, okay. Aside from the appendix and addendums.
It's like, yeah. Exactly.
Dad Denise says, David, can you teach me to entertain people? I'm very boring. Can you write a custom tutorial for me?
To be happy, and that excitement will come out in your voice, and then it's very good.
You get real excited, and you start to have a real personality like I have.
Yeah, I think that it depends on what the parents want, John on Cage, but yes, I do think it should be taught in school, so it would prevent the spread of STDs and unwanted pregnancies.
Well, now, I have an idea. What about putting kiosks in front of every Planned Parenthood with STI and STD kits in them that people can buy? Money-making kiosks with machines that can offer Planned Parenthood kiosks. Because when you go to Planned Parenthood, you would have to sit for hours to try to get one of these things. All you have to do is go in a machine and put $1.25 in it, it'll pop out, or $55, or whatever the cost is.
Like a blood test or something?
Yeah, like the same thing that Planned Parenthood does with people. They give STI tests, STD tests, on just small urine tests, swabs, and blood tests, and things like the pinprick blood test, for instance. What about making it convenient for people to doing that? Instead of having a big federally funded... Because when he defunded Planned Parenthood, I actually went I know you didn't, but I went, good job, Trump.
Schools are not the ultimate parents. Parents are the ultimate parents. However, some parents feel uncomfortable talking about certain subjects with their kids and would feel more comfortable with that coming from a knowledgeable person.
Okay, so you think you're in the coming charter schools of Betsy DeVos, you will be allowed to teach your kids anything you want about the Bible and
I'm
God?
I'm going to teach them what every American
There won't be any
needs to know.
standardization, though. Betsy
I know.
DeVos is not going to standardize, and they're not going to check to see if they're actually teaching kids. So you could teach them about the Lord's Prayer over and over again, and they could get an A. Some people would like that. You get an A for doing the Lord's Prayer over and over again. Yeah. So a lot of people are a little bit weird. We are removing you from this show. You are unable to chat with normal communication skills. Therefore, you have been rejected.
The concept of public education, John, is that to give a foundation for every U.S. citizen so that we have a common education so that we can discuss things.
Yeah. But Betsy doesn't care because she doesn't
engage in the political discourse.
Betsy didn't go to school. Betsy doesn't have a degree like you do. Betsy never taught. Betsy was somehow the beneficiary of an Amway billionaire's fortune and became very rich herself and decided to buy her way into the Department of Education. So Donald Trump has done exactly what Rod Blagojevich did, and Rod Blagojevich is still serving time. And Donald Trump is now freely able to take money for positions in our government. Can you believe what's happening? Does anyone even aware of what's going on right in front of their eyes? It's like there's a magic trick going on. You're not even aware of it.
As I was too. 999. And, the thing is, if you didn't even know about the man landing on the moon, you couldn't have a discussion of whether men landed on the moon
That's
or
true.
not. So
Yeah.
you do
Good
have
point.
a foundation of what to begin with.
Volkswagen stashed hundreds of cheating diesels in an abandoned NFL stadium parking lot. The truth about Volkswagen, how they've been cheating the air pollution tests for years, is right in front of your very eyes. Look at this article from Jalopnik. Another major reveal of Volkswagen's deceptive behavior, which it's been laid bare actually by our government. But you know something? I think this story is kind of ridiculous. Look at all those cars that could go on the highway right now. Just get out there. The Dieselgate emissions scandal broke. Volkswagen put a stop sale on TDIs and eventually started buying back hundreds of thousands of affected cars. So the TDIs out there are spewing diesel left and right and violating emission standards. And Volkswagen got away with it. It's looking at like $15 billion, I believe, is going to be their settlement. Do I remember RFK? I sure do. I remember what RFK stood for. I do. In fact, I have an actual ashtray from the place where RFK was killed. Let me show it to you. Oh yeah, I got heirlooms in the heirlooms category.
Oh, I love the idioms.
Yeah. This is an actual ashtray from the Ambassador Hotel, Coconut Grove, 1968. Yes, it was standing right next to the woman in the polka dotted dress, and she tipped her cigarette in it and then ran out the door, and we never saw her again. Coconut Grove, yeah. The same place that Bobby Kennedy passed away. Now, I understand that Trump is going to put Robert Kennedy Jr. in the position of vaccine czar. That'll be interesting. Yeah. Let's hope he does that. Yeah, isn't that cool? Thank you. Thank you. Oh.
What do you mean? Oh, you're saying that's what they currently do, John Uncaged? Well, then you would say the entire government's as a system is socialist. I mean, that's, yeah.
So you don't really, yeah, we know that the socialist operation of our government has been going on for a long time. Yeah. The public school idea is a 100% socialist idea. Oh, totally. Yeah. John, I definitely think that vouchers should be used. And as far as charter schools are concerned, I'm a little bit concerned, but parents can do whatever they want with their vouchers. But I don't think charter schools should get anywhere near what the public school system is getting, because the public school system has a tremendous amount of overhead. But we should just be a call to action for fiscal conservancy here and try to figure out where the money's going in the public school system, because you can train a kid in a Lutheran school for $3,500 a year in K through 8, whereas it costs $10,000 a year in the public school system on average. That's just for the Lutheran schools. You know, so there are ways of saving money in charter schools, but is this more about Betsy DeVos getting it's a money grab for all of her cronies in charter schools?
Maybe it's maybe she has a religious agenda that she wants to teach.
And what about the Gulen schools that are making tons of money on even George W. Bush's seeding of the charter school system? And the Gulen schools, the guy Gulen is under, I guess it's a wanted list. Bashar al-Assad in Syria wants him dead. He's got a real problem. Or it was, no, Erdogan. Erdogan wants him dead. He's a Turkish rebel who Erdogan wants to get rid of. Yeah. So yeah, the real strange things happening in charter schools and money grabs for American tax dollars. But I do believe in a voucher system, and the parents should have the right to determine whether it's a homeschool opportunity or whether they should just give that voucher to a private school. Saves us money. In the long run, I think that the whole country would save tons of money.
Yeah, I know. Dave Nation and MLK's speech was in 1963. Oh, thank goodness you threw out your mattress.
What's that have to do with anything? Right. What
do you think should be the purpose of public schools, John Uncaged? You don't think that public schools are not needed? You think
they need a revamp?
What specific revamp do you believe that they need?
I'm going to say cost containment. You know, the problem with public schools, in my opinion, is the administrative overhead and all the things that you teachers have to do to jump through hoops. We really, I think a lot of people believe that, and not just myself, but a lot of people believe that there's too much rigor in schools. If we just let teachers do what they're supposed to do, that actually frees your time up than to have to constantly do improvements and checkups and all these things that teachers have to do now. I just think that we need to let teachers teach. When they get a degree, we shouldn't need all this secondary accreditation, all this effort to certify teachers beyond their performance level. I think that's the mistake. That's looking at the problem, saying it's the teacher's fault. You know, the basic motivation to learn comes from the kid. And something in the kid, that little magical mystery wonderment, is excited by things in the environment. So if we could provide a rich environment with learning aids, technologies like robotics and solar power and wind power kits, kids really get into that. And I think there's going to be a big, huge improvement in motivation when we offer. So the government could ostensibly just be providing kits to every school for free, as opposed to telling you estates what to do with those kits. If the states don't want them, then fine, then don't ask for them. But instead of telling what to do with the kids, just give them the toys and the tools necessary to give kids motivation. So less emphasis on testing, although testing is great for aptitude and assessment, and I think as a tool, it is a requirement. But especially if we're going to give vouchers away, we have to test them to make sure they're at grade level, basic grade level.
Well, you might be happy to know, John, that the Common Core state standards do require some reference to biblical knowledge in middle school.
It's true. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, there's something on the stove for you if you're hungry.
Oh, thank you.
I made you a little something.
Oh, you're so sweet.
It's like a light, non-GMO macaroni and cheese with some green snap peas.
Oh,
and
sweet.
some onions and mushrooms. So.
Very good.
Enjoy.
I'm going to go enjoy my book.
And enjoy your book, yeah. It's good reading. She loves
my
it.
Birthday presents.
That's amazing. And you got that for used? It was fairly reasonable?
Yeah.
It's like $10.
I think so.
That's awesome. Buy used books, folks. You're so much better off than wasting tons of money on brand new books. Okay, I'll go forward.
Take care, Jeff.
Take care, Sarah. Sarah is here and gone. Thank you. I'm spraying my face with this fruit enzyme just to
I don't really think there's a full ebook version of this.
waken up.
And what's cool about this is like you don't want an ebook version because you want to go. I mean, I guess a printed one, but you want to go back and forth to different things.
Okay.
So it's very cool. I'm glad I got it.
I'm glad you got it too. It was well worth it. Got it in the mailbox. It's fantastic. I just want to close down all these links and just get rid of them, you know. You get to the point where you just want to get rid of links. So here's the FBI and 5 other agencies probe possible covert Kremlin aid to Trump. That's still going on, the investigation. But in the case of James Comey and the fact that he didn't bother pursuing Hillary, he's obviously the linchpin in a corruption ring. Everything about James Comey reeks of corruption, in my opinion. I know they're making square apples and apples that don't rust. Yeah, I've heard about that. So this is the article to the investigation into his Kremlin connections, which we may find out. You never know. You may see a video of him, in a motel room doing some lewd things. Just go with the flow, you know. America can absorb the loss of our president doing something lewd. We've already had Bill Clinton claim he never had sex with that woman. I never had sex with that woman, Monica Lewinsky. I never did. I never had sex with anyone, not even myself. Trump should have fired Comey by now. Tell me about it. Comey should have resigned by now, I think. I know. It looks like Colonel Sanders, but it represents truth, justice, and the American way. I'm dressed in white, yellow, beige, and in between. Yeah, and this kind of a disturbing reality that I have to do. Thank you, Woodchip. I have to do these shows in a different outfit every day to help keep my cycle of functionality going. Because if I don't use the theme aspect of the show, they all blend in and become, one and the same, which kind of sucks. Well, I can tell you didn't get served up chicken wings on this one. You got the full legs and thighs with Trump. With Hillary, you would have gotten the chicken wings and then some. Maybe some backs and necks. With Trump, you're getting the breast, chicken, and the thigh, the whole load of corruption. You're not getting kind of a little corruption with Bill and Hillary. Basically, Trump makes Bill and Hillary look like totally innocent people who've never done anything wrong. Yeah. To sell the White House seat of the Secretary of Education, not to mention whatever Rex Tillerson paid for that seat. I mean, it's almost bizarre, but yeah, we're looking at Hillary, oh Hillary. They say she's going to run for mayor of New York. So they say. Nope, not fake news. The story of his 2 sex tapes is very real. It's still being investigated. And I think that George H.W. Bush is out of the woods. He got past pneumonia yet again. And I think he's getting a little bit more regular bowel movements, which is good. Believe me, at that age, a good BM is like a success. Yeah. Here he is having one with his Depends underwear where he was visiting the NASA Space Center. Yes, he was having a bowel movement there. It's, sometimes, the bowels don't really control themselves. The sphincter lost its sphinct. So he sphincted out. That was him visiting NASA. He's doing better now. You're not allowed to have a foundation that soon after office. Bunky Times, is that a 4chan story about Trump getting peed on, or are you just making light talk? I don't know if Trump was into urination rights. I mean, that's just... The wall is on. Okay. All right, so let's move on. I'm going to get rid of this link. I'm done. If these agencies are really investigating, this has been up for a week. That's gone. Another one bites the dust. Yeah. I think 4chan is an illegal website run by the CIA and the NSA. Yeah. We should stop the CIA and the NSA from doing that. They've been doing some bad things to Mr. Trump. They made him have to defend himself against all kinds of wild allegations. Can you imagine anyone accusing him of being sexually lewd? Boy, what about that woman that claims she was raped at the age of 13 by Trump? Her attorney was going to hook her up with the media, and then she's afraid to go there. Said that there were death threats against her, the real, credible death threats, and the next day she dropped the court case against Trump. Hey, you got another Vaccines Revealed, episode 10 coming? Thanks. We'll play again. We're doing this show ongoing in the evening, just to give you guys a clue as to how bad vaccines can be. Granted, they help smallpox and polio, but they're not exactly the ideal thing when you comes to your kids and their immune systems and their nervous systems, which seem to be impacted heavily by vaccinations. So this is a link that's available for only a few. Yeah, that looks like a good one. Hell yeah! It's 3 hours long. Wow, that's a long link. Well, that could be tonight's show, I guess. Huh? I'll say some for you. No, you can finish it. Go ahead. I'm cutting back on excess calories tonight. I can say some for you. I don't mind. It's up to you. Whatever you want to do, you make the decision. Well, if. Can you imagine having Barack Obama in a sexually compromising position with his 2 gay boyfriends and his transgender lover, Michael? Here's a really good parody by the Trump people that, they got to get their word in edgewise here too, because we have to give them some presence. Otherwise, this would be fake. All these people were very, very, very open about their. They didn't vote for Trump because he degraded the image of women in society, and it's pretty it's pretty amazing the hypocrisy here. Oh man, and wasn't Madonna offering BJs to people in an audience the other day? I don't know what's going on. And then she made a veiled threat about the White House, and that's nothing compared to what Donald Trump did when he said you should use your Second Amendment against Hillary if you didn't like the appointment of judges that she was making. Talk about, he isn't one to talk about making veiled threats, I'll tell you that. He made a pretty veiled threat about the CIA the other day at that meeting. He said he was going to build them a new room without columns.
Because I love honesty. I like honest reporting. I will tell you, final time, although I will say it when you let in your thousands of other people that have been trying to come in, because I am coming back.
Okay, and this is in honor of those members of the Central Intelligence Agency who gave their lives in the service of our nation. And this was all about Trump. John O'Brien said, this is horrible. I mean, he was extremely angry. John O'Brien was fired, basically. And Pompeo has been put in place, this bureaucrat that's kind of it looks a little green under the ears when it comes to the CIA. But John O'Brien was real pissed off, and then Trump made this veiled threat to the CIA.
And maybe it'll be built by somebody that knows how to build, and we won't have columns. Do you understand that?
Okay, and people think this is a reference to Building 7. Yeah, it's a whole reference to the Trump 9/11 connection. And maybe it's even weirder when you connect the dots between Trump and this incredibly weird TV commercial he and Ivana made back prior to 9/11, his former wife Ivana. And he made this mattress commercial that appeared right before 9/11. Watch this.
So what do you think of my Trump Home mattress collection by Serta? Finally, the same luxury and comfort I demand in my hotels.
Oh, they'll never count sheep again.
Listen, why don't you come work for me?
What do you have in mind?
Something you were born to do.
Welcome to Room 9.
Looking good, number 9, looking good.
Where's your dignity?
Okay, so he's standing there next to what appears to be 9/11. Yeah, and this is very strange. Yeah, 9/11. Is it a great commercial? I don't find it that funny, but if Trump knows more about 9/11 and he's an insider on the inside job, it was shot in 2011, then why are they making references to 9/11? Yeah, explain that to me. All right, thanks. Was that shot in 2011? Okay, thanks for telling me. Of course he's on the inside of an inside job. So do you think Trump is going to process 9/11 as an investigation in the 9/11 Commission report like I said? No, he's not going to bother. Because his friend Larry Silverstein, who inherited $5.4 billion in the only case of terrorism insurance redemption, recovery. Terrorism insurance didn't exist before 9/11. Larry Silverstein managed to get it. And he got $5.4 billion out of that money on buildings he just recently invested in. It's crazy. Yeah. Gold, 1206. B-Real is heavily invested. Gold moving up, silver hovering at 17 now. Dow Jones roared forward at 19,912. Really was a big day for Dow Jones average. A lot of money grabbers. Bullish people were grabbing money left and right, selling their stocks and making tons. All right, so in lieu of the fact that a lot of people don't realize what I'm doing and they're brain dead and they're dumb as a rock, thanks for coming in. This final story about the National Guard guy, it turns out that I don't know if you remember when Trump and the guardsmen had to leave in the middle of his Trump acceptance speech that he put out. The entire cadre of guards left because this guy called them off. The last thing he did, General Schwartz, when he was cut for no reason from the National Guard, I think it's racism. I think it's pure racism. The general has been taken down from his post. When Trump became president at 12:01, that man was wrongfully taken down for no reason other than pure racism. That's my belief. Okay, moving on. He left his post, and I think those guys said, we don't have orders to stand here anymore, so they just got up and left. That's how disorganized the Trump startup was. I can get that. Believe me, we do way better at bashing Trump than CNN. I haven't even brought up the nature of his relationship with Vladimir Putin. If you wait a little longer, I'll give you a real, background on all the deals with the Russian mob and how Russia is going to be coming into our country with the UN pretty soon if he makes a deal with Putin. Yeah, but we'll still be at war in Syria, fighting an imaginary force called ISIS. It's hilarious. Both countries want to attack the imaginary force called ISIS. What do you define as a good man? A man who assassinates his political enemies? Is that a good man? Really? A guy who grew up in the Russian mob and then became a bureaucrat in the Politburo, that's a good man? Let's talk about Jeffrey Epstein's black book. I haven't even discussed the truth about Trump and the Epstein connection. We need to go into that to really, do more than CNN here at bashing Trump. I really need to get deep into this. There's no reason to just take it lightly. Well, let's be clear. Michelle and I are traveling in Hawaii with our two homosexual friends. I mean, you won't get anything on Podesta and this connection to this little missing girl because that story has been completely shelved by our government. And I'd be surprised if you don't start seeing some sort of a major blockages and lagging in the signal right now as I talk about it. I wouldn't doubt it one bit. Yeah, we don't really want to look into the Podesta connection to the abduction of Madeleine McCann. No, nothing like that. We don't want to talk about that because that would really kind of open the door of Pandora's box and reveal the Epstein connection to Donald Trump. Yeah, we don't want to do it there. No. We don't do. No. Hang on. Dump. So is it eyes wide open, or are you ready to open your mind to the truth? Have you gotten to that point where you You've got to find out. This is so weird. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Wow. It's too much for memory. Somebody will accuse me. Tell me about it. Somebody will accuse me of being an Illuminatist if I put that out there. Dave is like Michael Jordan. I defy gravity. Thank you. So let me get this thing up here off of my list. Yeah, so there's some good values out there for people looking for houses on the East Coast right now. I was over on Zillow. I was surprised how many houses are available. I'm going to show you some opportunities to get in on a ground floor of a $20,000 house and fix it up. A lot of you guys want to own your own house because you're paying debt, rent. It's a vicious circle. The debt cycle, the whole concept of constantly paying your payments, and that's all part of the plan the Illuminati put in place for you when you basically graduated from high school. Yeah, they offered you $2,000 free money from the credit card company, and off you went. Spend, spend, spend. And here you are, 30 years later, wanting to spend on a mortgage and go deeper into debt for another 30 years. Okay, here is the Holy Grail. Trump's name is the first name on the list. That Jeffrey Epstein, this known child sex trafficker, pedophile, has basically had Trump on the speed dial at his house there. So that's something of great concern. There's so many things. The fact that he's trading cabinet positions for money, a clear violation of federal law. I mean, you got to wonder how he thinks he's going to evade prison, and not like Rod Blagojevich, who got caught red-handed. I mean, what's wrong with Trump? Doesn't he know you can't sell the cabinet position? So I expect the Judicial Department to actually do a deep investigation into all of this back dealings with the Trump swamp people. The swamp people. We should get a picture of the whole cabinet. Dum, dum, dum. Here they are. The swamp people have arrived. Wow. He was going to drain the swamp. Oh, this is an imaginary cabinet, people. Wrong one, sorry. I thought that was legitimate. Here we go. Thank you. The swamp people, they've arrived. Oh, yeah.
It's time to go to bed. Pick up that thing from me. I told you to stop feeding that dog that you...
I'll get to that in just a second. Yeah, this is the swamp. It doesn't get much darker than this. I mean, Newt Gingrich has practically admitted he's an Illuminatist. He knows all about the Illuminati. Giuliani is going to go to Homeland Security. I did not know that. News to me. Are you sure this isn't dated? All right. No, these are hypotheticals. These aren't the real ones. Okay, we're done with this, and we're done with that, and we can move on to the next topic, which is an elderly woman getting beaten, attacked by one of the workers for simply feeding human food to a dog. Y'all gonna watch this? All right.
It's time to go to bed. Pick up that thing from me. I told you to stop feeding that dog that human food. And you have another $4,000 to put that dog back in the hospital? Why do you keep feeding that dog human food? Huh? Why do you? Huh? Get the up from there. Get up. Get the up and go to bed. Go to bed.
That enrages me.
I told you to stop eating that dog human food.
This is how they treat your grandma.
I said, why do you feed that dog human food? Why do you keep feeding the dog human food? I didn't do it. Shut up. Yes, you did. Stop lying to me.
We have got the biggest problem in our country still to this day. I am extremely angry. Oh my God. Yeah, tell me about it. That could be your grandma. Okay, I'm going to tell you some stories now. It may kind of freak you out. I had the opportunity to go visit somebody at a nursing home last year. That's her caretaker, yeah. I had an opportunity to go visit somebody at a nursing home last year, and I visited a couple times, and I had my eyes saw such atrocities I can't even describe it. I saw at the dinner table somebody was eating some gravy in the group, and I said, what is this? And they said, it's terrible, it's terrible. And I said, what is it? It smells horrible. So they pushed the plate away. I put my finger on it and I put it to my nose. The gravy, the chicken gravy that was supposed to be on the mashed potatoes, and it was feces. Feces. So why would they feed feces on a plate? Because it happens to be next to the kitchen, the diarrhea. I sniffed doo-doo, yeah. Yep. No, I didn't taste it. Do you eat crap? I don't eat crap. It smelled like feces. Yeah. So why would they feed feces to a person in a medical facility? It causes kidney failure. There was no one to file a complaint to. Yeah. There was no 800 number like they had under George W. Bush's time where you could complain about nursing homes. Even there's no elder abuse hotline anymore. It's elder protection services, and they're not even available. I called the Washington State Central number. They didn't have one. Anyway, I kept a sample of it. Yeah, I really do have a sample of it. I'm going to check it sometime in the future. Trump isn't going to build a wall. I'm telling you, it's not going to be built in a short period of time. And if it is, it won't be big enough. And it's not going to be the invisible wall that I've been talking about for over a month. Anyway, if you want to pretend like Trump's doing something and have yourself a jerk off, reach around session, go right ahead. Pat yourself on the back, too, after you, enjoy your own personal love for yourself and Trump. The wall is not going to be... The fence is the most practical thing. Everyone knows, every expert out there says a wall cannot be built, a fence has to be built, and even a fence is too impractical. Well, you'd think malpractice lawyers would have a field day, but I didn't take it to the next step. I told the administrator, and he flatly denied it. I said, well, we might be talking to each other someday in court. Either way, I was shocked, and I saw a woman there, a 92-year-old woman with a bruise on her head. And I talked to her, and I said, so what happened? And she's so sweet. She's like, they hit me. They hit me. Every time I don't do what they tell me to do, they hit me. So we've got these people hitting 92-year-old women in nursing care facilities all across the country, and nobody's got any video of this? Our country is run by a bunch of buffoons, absolute incompetent idiots. You know, it's $16 to get a video camera installed on a wall with an SD card. That's how much they cost on eBay. And we didn't even have a video of Carrie Fisher when she passed away. Nobody had a photograph of anybody on board that plane that was near or close to Carrie Fisher. For all we know, it could easily be a murder that happened against Carrie Fisher. And to this day, by the way, we still don't know what happened to Carrie Fisher. Her autopsy is an open question. No one knows. So here we are with the online revolution trying to come up with a media verification alliance and figure out what the hell is killing our celebrities. Over 137 celebrities last year died. Inexplicable deaths. Unexplainable deaths. George Michael is now considered a homicide. Yeah. I care. What if it was your grandma? How many people are being smothered every day and the cops just blow it off because, well, they're dead anyway? Grandma got smothered by pillowcase. We won't even investigate what happened to the most important man in our country, Justice Scalia. There is no justice for Justice Scalia. They didn't do an autopsy. They didn't do an investigation. Complete and utter cover-up. Hey, I'm all about making legal coal, sure. I don't want to in any way deny coal miners, but at this point, we need to actually come up with a clean way of dealing with your environment. You guys in your coal mines need to have like an air-conditioned unit down below with filtered air, where you can pull your masks off and go into this thing for 25 minutes every 40 minutes of work. I'm serious. That would help you a tremendous amount. There's 770,000 coal workers in America that are not getting the right kind of services. The government can do this. They don't have to charge industry. The government can do this. All right, so getting real solutions for people down in the trenches, digging coal is definitely going to help. Well, you could get a job as a coal miner in one of those air-conditioned units. The thing about coal miners is they don't leave their masks on. They work with their masks off in the coal mine because it's pain when you're 2-3 hours doing it and it's dripping down your head. The sweat is, and you're barely, so they pull their masks off, and this is why the coal miners are getting black lung, and we need to do a lot more. We're not doing anything. Donald Trump doesn't give a crap about the environment. He certainly doesn't care about the lungs of the coal miners. No, you don't know. You're Trump-tard. Jaden Smith joins the Shia LaBeouf live stream, and he's out there again pitching, "He will not divide us."
He will not divide us. He will not divide us.
We shall overcome.
He will not divide us.
We shall overcome. He shall not divide us. We need a backbeat. Let's get a little acid machine in here. All right, so it's back up again. The whole thing is going to be an enclave. It'll be a mecca for people who are so liberal that they want to just go there. Yeah. Actually, I don't think he's getting any more support. You Trump-tards are defined as about 22 million people, Trump-tards, walking around going, here's your average Trump supporter. Hang on. Hey, how you doing, man? Well, that's the whole point, man. He's going to make America great again. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Times Square is broadcasting the show right now. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, you're dang right he's going to make America great. He said he was going to make America great. If you don't like that, shut up. Yeah. You either go with him or you're not. Hey, all those against Trump are against America. Hold on. I'm just using a modern prop here for my hat. Somebody said I had a problem with my props. Venture Dave. How you doing, everybody? You bet. Yeah. It's called Make America Great Again. You know, a lot of these homeless people, they don't work. They don't eat. I hear this from Republicans all the time. They literally want people to starve to death. I swear they're like completely out of it. You date a male Trump-tard before you date a female libtard. What are you, gay? What are you, chicken hawk Republican? Dude, you keep posting this. I would think you'd go to bed with that. I've got like way more viewers than you'll ever imagine. Am I Jim Carrey? No, Jim Carrey's much older than me. Actually, he's 2 years younger than me. What am I saying? Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey's had a tough life. If you were Jim Carrey, wouldn't you have your face changed and come out as a new guy? I mean, when you think about it. No, I'm not Gary Johnson. Look, if I had a face like Jim Carrey, I would probably, change it too. I'm just glad I don't look like him. What if I was Jim Carrey? Would that freak you out? If I was Jim Carrey, I would probably have to change my nose. He has a typical Jewish nose, and I don't. You see that section right there where it dips down? Yeah, that's the Jewish Semitic. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Look it, please. I like Jewish people, and I've been friends with Jewish people. Well, as long as I had money, they were my friends. But I want to thank a lot of the Jewish people that have helped our country get to this important brink point in our society. Thank you, all of you, Jewish people. Thank you.
Did you know that there is a group of people out there that does an incredible amount of good for us, and yet is truly underappreciated?
Who are you talking about?
Jews!
Oh, so what did Jews do for us?
The real question is, what don't Jews do for us? Well, let's start with money. You like money, right?
Sure, who doesn't?
Well, maybe you should check out who has been greasing the monetary machine. Look at the great people who have been busy heading the Federal Reserve, the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, and other large financial institutions.
Wow, I knew Jews were good with money, but I didn't know they were responsible for running the world's money supply. Thanks, Jews.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. So we want to make sure that everyone knows who's running the world's money supply, who's handling most of our legal and medical problems, and who is charging a shitload of money every time you get sick or have a legal problem. Sure. Now, we have to get back to the issue at hand. How are we going to make you a doctor? How are we going to make you goyim a lawyer? How are we going to make you goyim entertainers? You goyim, you don't understand. You've got to have opportunity. So, being I'm not Jewish, I want to make sure that you guys have Pell Grants up the wazoo. Double the Pell Grants for everybody. I don't care if you're Jewish, white Anglo-Saxon, Protestant, anything. It doesn't matter. Race, creed, or color, you should have double the size Pell Grants. And we want to make sure that you could qualify for independent income at 21. Right now, the current barrier in America is 25 to be an independently capable of financially handling yourself. And then you can apply for scholarship. Say your mom and dad don't pay for your education from the age of 19 to 25. What do you, drop out of school? Right now, that's the way the system is. So I want to give you a couple years to kind of decide what you want to do. And at 21, we'll make your financial independence real, and you'll qualify for double the Pell Grant. I don't want to lose any of you people who are right on the verge of finishing your education. And it's a personal issue with me. Because when I was a number one student in my high school class of 770 students, and I had excellent SAT scores in the top 98 percentile of the country, I wasn't given any opportunity at all. I didn't have a scholarship at all, other than a $100 honorarium from UCLA for being an honor student. I got nothing. And it became extremely difficult to compete and even finish a degree and get my education. So I want to give that back to you. It's a very important issue for the American people to look at. Donald Trump doesn't have any plan for you to get a double your size Pell Grant or even a 6-week to 6-month course study where you get certified in a job where you can make $20 to $25 an hour. That's what I'd like to see for this country. Not that big of a deal, but it's going to help a lot of people who are really dispossessed right now. Millennials who don't have enough money to even get by are really kind of lost right now. It's because Islamic Jews are running the universities, David. And that's where we're going to change it. No, this is just me combing my hair forward now. I decided to wear kind of a really like a Dutch boy look. Yeah. Is that okay? Is my hair really that important? You've got President Pussy Grabber in charge right now. He can't even read or write. Yeah, you just grab them by their pussies. He basically screws up every time he goes to Twitter now, and he misspells. He's done 3 misspellings in the past 6 months. Or more. Dave, Oprah's watching. Oprah, I want to get on your show, and I want to dance. I want to have fun. I want to talk. I want to communicate. Trump is already old news. Let's move on, shall we, Oprah? You can endorse me. Get Tom Cruise on the show, too. We'll also hang out. You don't like the Dutch boy look? Is that better? How's that? A little better? All right. Let's just get down and dirty. Let's do it. We're going to get some funky town with Mr. Barack Obama doing his little jig with his mouth. Mr. Teleprompter Reader himself for an encore presentation of if. We'll get right into it. And then we got another hour of entertainment for you tonight, as well as political discussion. All right? Well, let's be clear. I blame everybody who voted for Donald Trump right now for the traitor that he is to our country, to have Russia so close, controlling this election, rigging the election according to the CIA and the FBI. I just can't believe how ripped apart our country is with Trump as our president. I will not go to dinner with you, no. But maybe Barack Obama and Michael will go to dinner if you pay them enough. Yeah. They're Hawaii with their other gay couple friend. Okay, we're here in Hollyweed, and we've got cell towers up here scrambling our head. RF frequencies do contribute to brain cancer, according to the director of the World Health Organization, but our government doesn't want to tell us that. Your cell phone is dangerous next to your head. Did you hear that, Larry? Okay. We got Leisure Suit Larry over here. Cell phones are dangerous to your head. You can't hold them next to your head unless you want to impact your brain somehow and get constipation of the neurons. If. So if you are worried about cell phone towers, I'd say smoke a doobie. And don't hold a cell phone next to your head. Use a speakerphone. Hit the button. Speakerphone it. You've been raped? How'd that work out? Tell us about it. Since this is unbiased, we can listen to your story. If you're worried, I'm not. No. Let's all stop using cell phones. No, let's just start. Why don't you just wake up and smell the roses for a second? I'm trying to help you out, you brain-dead moron. No offense, but I mean, if you hold that cell phone next to your head, you're going to have a little problem with your brain, and you'll start to black out, like the guy I met in 1985 who was holding a brick phone next to his head, selling Xerox machines for 2-3 years. And I met him, and he had brain cancer. And he said, yeah, man, I'm not making it. And he told me his whole story. It was amazing. Golden Gate Bridge, San Francisco, collapses tonight, Fox reports. Is that like a joke or something? Uh-oh. We have the power of the papal ministry of Pope Benedict and possibly Pope Francis. This is a pretty amazing GIF. It has everybody bending over and their wallets are all flying. And I was raised Catholic. That's pretty hilarious. There you go. It's true with any other church. It doesn't matter whether you're Catholic, Muslim, Jewish. It's all about cash. Lots of cash. Apparently cash is the pathway to heaven. In the eyes of so many religious zealots, the Lord will bless you tenfold. You should bank with the bank of Jesus. Yeah. What about save with the Savior at Jesus Savings and Loan? Would that be a great little ad? Welcome, brethren. Have you felt the need to make more money on your money and to feel blessed unto the Lord? Well, perhaps you could save with the Savior at the First National Bank of Jesus. Whatever. I'm trying to give you a little humor and you're like blowing it, dude. Okay. I don't really have a thing about religion, as you know. I left the church, but I believe in God. I just don't think the church is here to tell me what my belief is exactly. And I think, isn't that the whole point of the Christian Reformed Church of Martin Luther? As he turned to the Catholics and told them that heresy is the only way. Yes. My church is just me talking to you, I guess. It's not really a church. It's politics as usual. All right, let's go here and find out. Was I, in fact, genetically altered? And that somehow my career had ended? And I said, Jim, you're going to have to do something because people just find you boring and we've been through some tough times. So we're going to chop off this section of your nose and fill up your cheeks a little bit. Can I get an amen? And we're going to create a new personality and we're going to call you David Sponheim. And you're going to become the voice of America. And you won't talk through your butt. It won't be needed anymore. You can have more heady humor as opposed to being a complete cut-up like Jim Carrey was. I don't think Jim Carrey really pulled it off as an actor myself, although I did like him in was it Majestic? Well, whatever. So look at it, bacterial. Okay. Good. We covered a lot of territory tonight. We don't need to talk about the dead German who, he was a fantastic speaker. We talked about Udo Ulfkott, a German journalist who said that the entire foreign press is comprised of non-official covers for the CIA. He died last week of a fourth heart attack, which could have been caused by the heart attack weapon, a very serious tool which the CIA has.
Also, I had to find, one time they wanted me to find out if there was such a thing as a poison that was undetectable, especially one that seemed to mimic a heart attack, that would kill someone, but it would appear that they had a heart attack. I did find such a thing.
Does this pistol fire the dart?
Yes, it does, Mr. Chairman, and a special one was developed which potentially would be able to enter the target without perception.
The poison was frozen into some sort of dart, and then it was shot at very high speed into the person. So when it reached the person, it would melt inside them, and the only thing would be like one little tiny red dot on their body, which was hard to detect. There wouldn't be a needle left or anything like that in the person.
But also the toxin itself would not appear in the autopsy?
Yes, so that there was no way of perceiving that the target was him.
Is this unreal? So yeah, they could have taken out Carrie Fisher. Hey, Barack Obama went to a fashion stylist after he got out of the presidency, and it looks like he's doing a much different look. It's slightly different. Be ready. Here we go. He may have taken Michael's advice and become a tranny. We're not sure. Well, let's be clear. I love the purple. I think that's very, very, very attractive on you. And it's about time you shared your true feelings with the American people. He's a sassy sissy. I don't think man-friend... You know, a man-friend called me a couple days ago, and he actually said, I love you, man. I got to get together with you. I'll pay your hotel room, whatever. I said, no, I'm gonna pass on that, man friend. I'm not gay. Okay, Google conspiracy is legit. Trump's getting sabotaged. Oh, John Voight standing up in favor of his big man Trump. Yeah. Boy, these old boys, you know, they're cronies. They get together. Trump doesn't have the mental acumen to hold it together as president. It's already unwinding. John Voight must be a Yahoo search guy because he agrees with Donald Trump's Google was working for Hillary. Even though somehow CNN managed to give him all this pre-press coverage, and Fox did. Somehow they're working for Hillary, even though Hillary lost. Isn't that amazing? Anytime anybody says anything bad about Trump, blame the media. That's what he does. The actor and Trump supporter tells us that LAX, the tech company, is not alone in trying to keep Trump out of the White House. The entire mainstream media is on it. Yeah, he kind of pissed off the mainstream media, didn't he? You wonder why. Maybe because there may be something involved. I'm sorry, this has been terminated due to multiple third-party notifications of copyright infringement. TMZ was taken down. That's how serious this hack is. I don't do porn the way you do porn. Yeah, I don't have a fetishism for specific races of people. That's kind of funny. Yeah, Trump won't make it past the bathroom tomorrow morning when he has a massive bowel movement. Yeah. You know, the problem with being a president and having a food addiction, you're going to eat all kinds of junk food, and, you know, it's like that guy in the dorms that I'm in, is Mike. Oh my God. The worst experience of my life at UCLA. This guy named Mike, who went on to become an attorney in Cleveland. He said to me, Dave, come on, I want to show you something. I said, okay. What is it? No, I want to show you. It's really serious. So I was like, okay, the toilet break or something? He took me into the bathroom stall and showed me his bowel movement. And it was like 27 inches long. Can you imagine doing that to somebody? Malia is making so much money as a little princess to the corrupt couple Michael and Michelle, or Michael Brock and Michelle, that she's now working at Sundance. Check it. Yeah. Malia. $240 million rich from just being the president's daughter. She slipped into vacation mode, rubbing elbows with Hollywood types for work, of course. Yeah. She wants to work in the industry. So probably catching a doob here and there. Dad's not supposed to know, but, you know, she's 18 now. She's smoking some doobie. And isn't it illegal to smoke doobie in Colorado? Uh-oh. At 18, I think you have to be 21. Hang on. Oh, good. No call. That's so great. Okay, please stop posting that Dave is butthurt over Trump. Thank you. I don't know, but it was up there. It was like, I'm going to say 21 inches. Yeah. It's like, who would do that? Needless to say, I ended the relationship with Mike. He thought he was funny or something. You have banged Malia too once time? What? You had sex with Malia? Tell her father, for crying out loud, that you want to marry her. You should never ever have casual sex without marrying the woman. That is unblessed. No, it never has. It never happened to me, no. I don't know. The guy was so proud of his bowel movement. It was the most pathetic thing I've ever seen. Thank you for letting me share this, because I got it off my chest. The whole concept. Not the bowel movement. That would be considered scat. And I'm not into that sick, weird thing. So this has been a nasty show, man. I really went to the dark side. No pun intended. Well, yeah, pun intended. Pun intended. Why not? So yes, this is one of the funniest gifts I've ever seen. The attraction of the churches to the money. I've often asked, is tithing is in the Old Testament, and you could argue that taxes are tithing. You could argue that taxes and tithing are the same. And I know that there's a particular tithing in the Muslim faith as well. But isn't it ironic that all these religions have this one thing in common? They're all trying to make money. It's just so obvious. Scam. Even back when people had to buy a donkey or a goat just to go into the to pay homage to the religious function to be blessed. It was some sort of a tradition back prior to Jesus' time. You like the word Muslim? That is the correct pronunciation. You're a hater, you're a loser, and you don't know what you're doing here. Well, welcome, loser and hater. Well, I don't see. That's the thing, Yankee Doodle Dandy. I believe that we should all have and welcome to the online revolution. I believe we should all have a flat or fair tax of 10%, or both. That's what I would do. Yeah, a 10% flat tax without any kind of deductions or credits. This is where the lobbyists really make a lot of money in government, and how we have corruption. If we go for a flat tax of 10%, which is similar to tithing, we're kind of in lockstep with ancient religious beliefs as well. And it's not unfair. It would be the same for everybody. 10% on any on income over $100,000. So that would be, if you made less than $100,000, you wouldn't be taxed at all. We want you to perform better and get ahead, so you don't have to constantly be taxed. What you'd still pay a 10% fair tax on income over, or on anything non-food items, like a yacht, your condoms that you buy prior to avoiding sex so you can avoid children. Oh, Mr. Duterte is a heroin addict. I'm convinced of it. When you look at Duterte's face, and I've seen a lot of heroin addicts growing up in LA. Yeah, I've seen him in Venice, I'll tell you that. Look at his face. It's just bizarre. He's stoned immaculate. The guy's gone. It's like, oh yeah, and this guy's not on heroin? Oh, come on. Come on. Give me a break. I mean, the guy's like completely blitzed. So obviously what he's doing is trying to get rid of his heroin dealers' competition. It's not unusual for dictators to try to kill their competition when they're getting free heroin. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Mr. Duterte is trying to kill off the competition. So his heroin dealer gives him all the heroin he wants as long as he goes out and assassinates all the competition. Pumpty Dumpty is building a wall. Yeah, I heard he's going to start laying brick. And I don't mean just going to the bathroom in the morning.
President Trump will take executive action tomorrow to order construction of the U.S.-Mexico border wall, senior White House official tells NBC News.
Which will never complete production, because otherwise he's going to bankrupt our country building it. Is he going to bring in National Chinese workers to work on the wall? Has he decided? They did a really good job on the 10,000-mile wall in China. It took 100 years. Yeah. Who gives a shit about somebody who brags and tells people he's going to do this, that? You know, he'll never get it done. I promise you that. Jeez, what a joke. I'm so jealous of very successful people. You mean people that borrow money to pretend like they're rich? Yeah, Mr. Duterte and his heroin addiction is pretty obvious. Look at those guys. This guy's eyes. He is just completely higher than a kite. How would it be if I did the show like that?
Hey everybody, how you doing? I just want to say I really want to get rid of all the drug dealers in America.
My job is to inform you that you're an absolute idiot. And I think I just completed my job. I think so. I mean, even the Republicans are going to wonder, what the hell are you up to? You got Russia with sex tapes behind you, ruining our party, making us all seem like sex deviants in the Republican Party. I mean, they are concerned. I told you I smoke marijuana on occasion. Yeah. I don't do it ever. I never do it on screen. No. But occasionally, and it's not physically addictive like heroin. Mr. Duterte is down what is called chasing the dragon. He's so far down the heroin road, he can't leave the heroin for more than 15, 20 minutes without shooting up again. With my millions of viewers, what a joke. Yeah, you're the joke, buddy. You're going to pay for that. Yeah. Remain positive. Banks say 97% of credit card users defaulted after last Christmas. Well, I bet. Yeah. 836. We are in a dead economy, and you can thank Donald Trump and corrupt corporate Wall Street pigs for collecting corporate welfare and sucking all the money out of our system. Yeah. Thank Mr. Corporate Welfare himself, Donald Trump. Feel free. The Media Verification Alliance, though, is the way to deal with the fake news. One way or another, they'd find this out. And they will tell you what they think. They won't tell you what you should see. That's called censorship. You could blindfold Duterte with dental floss. Yeah. Yeah, really, he's got some really messed up eyes. Dude, I have plenty of resources. If Sarah were to leave me tomorrow, I could very easily just become Tim Gunn and work on Project Runway.
Okay, everybody, let's just make this work. I could easily get a job in the accessory department.
No, I could seriously do a lot of things. I would liquidate my fortunes. I've got numerous fortunes in different sections and under different categories. I could sell my rock collection of rare rocks. I call them rocks. I could probably just, live off rice and beans in a small fetal position, waiting for the apocalypse too. Nothing is going to freak me out at this point. I tell you the truth. Every day I come here telling you the truth. I tell you how to live sustainably. Tomorrow, well, actually, I'm going to announce that I'm going to be making a lentil soup coming up on Thursday. $5 for 15 servings. We've got midgets watching us. How you doing, guys? Well, I got nervous not because she didn't come home and she's not a meal ticket. I love Sarah. She's a beautiful person. I know, but nobody cares who Tim Gunn is. I don't really need new impressions. Yeah, I'm done with impersonations. I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna be me. That's right. I could be Mr. Duterte. Let's see if we can do that. I can do Duterte.
Mr. Duterte. President of Filipino. You Americans are going to die. We are going to take you out. We want your base in Mindanao to be disappear. Just because you defend us World War II, you now have to go away because I want to kill all drug dealers.
I don't even know how he talks. Does anybody know how Duterte talks? I don't know. I've never heard him speak. All right. I hope you enjoyed the show. God, this has been great. Now we got 40 minutes to kill. Okay, it's time for me to hit the news. Dum da dum 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 dum. I sounded Japanese. Thank you. Please don't make up stories. I have 262 million viewers tonight. Yep, here we go. Trump is expected to order the Mexican border wall. Here he comes. Yep, gonna start building the wall. Yep. Now, there are some young men in college who have threatened to cut their genitals off, self-mutilation. And I'm not kidding. There are young men who are claiming if Trump proceeds to the wall, they're going to cut their genitals off. It's a story that went viral last week. My wall idea was 1,000-mile fence. He can't build a wall. This guy's never laid brick in his life unless you count his morning bowel movement. Whatever. Bacteria, you had PTSD from this day from having a gun to your head? Wow. It's happened to me a few times. I know what you mean, man. Scary situations can really impact you. But I'm not one of those people that gets scared when I have a gun held to my head. So. Okay. What's that all about? Scissor fight. Somebody trying to sell their tickets to the Super Bowl? It was going to be on the same day it was his wedding? He's looking for someone to take his place. And he's literally trying to sell it to his fiance. You're trying to fill in for him in a marriage. That's pretty funny. Well, I wish Melania the best. I wish Malia the best. And I wish anyone with malignancies the best. You know? She's going to try to carry on in her fake dad's history. I don't believe that she really is the daughter of Michelle and Obama. I don't think Michelle, or Michael, as I lovingly call him, had any kids. I don't think men can have kids, even if they are trannies. But it's pretty obvious that the Obamas are... their parents are friends of theirs. And I got a picture of their parents, and I showed you this last night. I think the truth is, these are the two parents of Sasha and Malia. Because there is no single pregnant picture of Michelle, the jig is up. We know that the real parents are your friends, that they loaned them your kids. Yeah, so that's the deal, in case you're wondering. I think not. Yeah, they look just like their parents when you think about it. The older one took the same view. It looks almost like his female clone. Yeah, as I'm talking about. And then the other one is the mother direct. The truth is, I mean, come on. It's pretty obvious. Jeez. And Michelle has a penis, so she's not exactly who you think she is. Look at that. It's almost a physical match. Yes. Thank you so much. Vaticash. It's the Vaticash machine. Okay. Whew. Didn't want to watch that. Don't really care, but why not? I'm adding it to the list. All right. Now is the time when people come together. Now is the time when all good men come to the aid of their country by providing links to the end of the show. There are 300 million people watching on UHF. Wow. Dave is so crazy he believes his own BS. Don't be a prejudicial. If you all gonna be prejudicial, don't be it so openly in the chat room. Yeah, because I've really, I've lived under prejudice all my life. I've been called whitey, honky, cracker, Wonder Bread, milk toast, all kinds of things. Now the FBI is behind the mysterious surveillance aircraft over U.S. cities. The FBI is up to no good, I'm telling you. They won't investigate Pizzagate, but they're going to look into your backyard. In this photo taken May 26, 2015, a small plane flies near Manassas Regional Airport in Manassas, Virginia. The plane is among a fleet of surveillance aircraft by the FBI, which are primarily used to target suspects under federal investigation. Such planes are capable of taking video of the ground, and some, in rare occasions, can sweep up certain identifying cell phone data, and can even look under your skirt when you're walking. Danger. Danger, Will Robinson. Okay, well, you don't like me. That's okay. I can deal with you not liking me. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Mr. Paranoid. What do you mean you're talking about that? I don't know how many votes I got. I'm not corrupt like Trump. I didn't rig the election with Russia's help. Ask Trump and ask Putin what the vote count was, okay? You Trump-tard traitor. Scumbag. You Trump-tards, watch the entire world unwind as this guy does his little routine. Oh, yeah. You may think everything's fine, but your world around you is going to start collapsing because nobody likes this asshole you call your president. So far, I've been blowing the socks off of everybody. I've reached 300 million viewers this week, just talking trash about Trump. Because it's my right. I live in a country with freedom of speech. Many of you don't have that opportunity. You can't talk about President Xi in China this way. You might get taken in and put into the extermination van, the death mobile. This is I Spy at the CGI at the Belle Equipe Cafe in Paris. Let's see what that CGI is all about. Oh yeah, this is when they threw off firecrackers out the window. Look at that. Yeah, this is when he's igniting firecrackers. Or she is. Pretending like they're shooting from outside. Total fakery in Paris. Another false flag event. Yeah. There's a reason why this clip is playing over and over again, because it's in different contrast settings. You can see the person is lighting some sort of a explosive charge. Give it up, rookies. Yeah. I feel like I'm in a really, really dull jazz club. The Jim Brubaker Orchestra. All right, we're going to remove you from the room. David's laugh is fake and awkward. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Monetizing my viewership is not something I need to do. I saw the legs, yeah. What I try to do is not worship money like Trump does. I'm not Swedish. I'm Norwegian heritage. Yeah. I'm not Swedish at all. You know, saying I'll never be anything more than a hate-spewing mama's boy. My mama and I did not get along. Alright? Let's just put it that way. Y'all don't know me very well if you think I'm mama's boy. Yeah, I've split. At 18, I was out the door, man. Actually, 17. Oh, yeah. School of hard knocks here, buddy. And then I had to go back because my dad had a heart attack at 25. When I was 25, my dad had a heart attack. So. Oh. Not a hairpiece. This is my actual hair. It's called, it grows from follicles.
As you know, a few days ago, Melbourne had one.
Oh, the donut craziness, shocking tragedy. Yeah, I'm going to add that to the long show tonight. And guess what? We got vaccine reveal. Episode number 10 on tap for you guys later tonight. Yeah, we play videos all the way to the evening, so you guys can keep active and chat here. And dude, I took care of myself at 21. My God, I went out of debt at 21. I started bankrolling enough money to save for retirement at 21. I bought a car at 25, and man, I used that car like crazy. I used it till it was at 300,000 miles on it. It was a Toyota pickup. And then with the process of conserving money and my Norwegian heritage of saving money and frugality, I was sitting pretty for retirement at age 50. I'm not a porno star. I don't recommend any porn agency. Any of you are looking for a porno career, go elsewhere, please. Nope, I never have created fake news in this show. Everything is pretty dang good. What I've done so far is managed to bypass the censorship control of the ruling elite. The mainstream media is bought off completely by financial leaders around the world, people that have so much money that make Trump look like a pauper. And I must tell you that the effort has not gone unnoticed. I have pretty much on their radar now. A Datsun B210 or B201 was one of the worst cars I've ever seen in my life. This is a horrible car. Datsun B210, I had a guy I knew who drove it. It was just... Anyway, I drove my Toyota pickup till I saved enough money. I grew my own vegetables for years. I didn't even go to the store. I grew all my own organic vegetables for about 15 years, and I lived out of a garden. So my costs were really low, and I was able to save, my pennies and nickels and quarters and dollars, and built a dynasty. Yeah. Now I have a media dynasty called me and my show, and it's going very well. We did this without any money, hardly at all. I'm the biggest investor in America's Third Party. I put the most money into it, and because we don't have an expensive overhead, we're able to pull this off. It's kind of phenomenal, isn't it? And we bypassed the media completely. We now are being reached by millions of people around the world, and that gives us an edge over the media. If the media finally does give me that interview, which I need, I will absolutely thank all of you abundantly for your viewership, and we'll keep the show going for free on into the future. I'm never going to charge you for the show. I made that decision last year. There was a time when I was thinking about it, but there's no way I would bother with that because it's not going to keep my audience. The only way to keep the audience is to maintain constant, free, interactive journalism / politics. So, here's a story about President Donald Trump's thin skin. This is a common trait among the Trump legacy. Okay. His refusal to let sleeping dogs lie now threatens to harm his presidency. Graham blasts Trump after his latest voter fraud claim. Lindsey Graham blasts Donald Trump after latest... Okay, Lindsey Graham is going after Trump. Should be interesting. I'm not bashing anybody. I don't bash anybody, just you, 920. I ban you. Your spelling is off. Dude, you're not laughing at me or with me. You're a moron who voted for Trump and don't even realize how you're a traitor to this country. Let's play this loop and I'll get right back to you. Okay, that's apparently CNN is no longer working. Maybe Donald had CNN shut down. That's what a good Hitlerian figure would do. He's accusing them of being Nazis when he's obviously behaving like a Nazi. Trump threatens to send in the feds to address Chicago carnage. Instead of helping the people resolve their anger at him by speaking out to them and talking to them like people, he's going to bring in a police state, just like I said. Here comes the police state of Donald Trump. Life is a cabaret, old chum, so come to the cabaret. Hey, check this out, man. President Trump took to Twitter on Tuesday night to re-up the idea of sending federal law enforcement to Chicago if the city's homicide rate doesn't come down. If Chicago doesn't fix the horrible carnage going on, I'll send in the feds. So he's going to go ahead and, process Chicago as the first test city for the FEMA camps. Hello, Dr. Cerebellum. Good evening. I am doing fine, thank you. Yeah, Trump won't go there because he doesn't want to get hurt. But, hey, baby, how you doing? Who loves you, mama? David, too many people come in here to make fun of you. No, it's only you, 927. I keep banning you. He's the only guy. He keeps coming under new names. Everyone's making fun of you, David. Purge. That's so great. The Purge Mute Band Show. Hey, welcome to Halloween. So some of you are smoking pot on a regular basis. I actually have no problem with legalizing marijuana. I'm fine with it. Just like I have no problem creating a flat tax, which Trump won't even talk about. His gradated tax of 1, 5, 10, 15 was a bad example of how we should actually lower the amount of taxation on people. He wants everybody to pay taxes. I don't want anybody to pay taxes making less than $100,000. I'm the guy who started the online revolution. Trump didn't. He wanted to grab all the glory and steal my ideas and continued to push the same crap that Kissinger wants. So what's going on now is Kissinger has chosen his bitch named Donald Trump, and now his bitch is doing whatever Kissinger wants to make him seem like he's not really playing with the ball game. He's going to do a little song and dance where he does what I said, like reject TPP, stop funding Planned Parenthood, federal funding for Planned Parenthood. And that's what I was saying 3 or 4 years prior to where we are now. And actually 5 years prior. Anyway, he did the things that I suggested. So he kind of pretended like he's legitimate. Now he's going to start implementing a police state in Chicago and really do the martial law thing that Kissinger wants him to do. Does that mean outside sales, bottling taxes, strictly any product that's sold at any given station? If it's bought and sold, they have to pay another 10% tax. And we could almost say that could be true with marijuana, too. Legal marijuana, which will be a big part of my administration, will be taxed so that we can earn at least 20 or 30% on the total take. So when a grower produces it and sells it to the middleman, he has to pay, say, 10%, hypothetically. If the middleman sells it to the retailer, they have to pay 10%. If the retailer sells it to you, they have to pay 10%. So the government gets a little money on the backside. How can you talk for 4 hours straight? Well, when you have 185 IQ, you can pull this off. I'm never bored. I'm always curious. It keeps me going. No, Kissinger tells Trump what to do. He gets on the phone and, Mr. Trump, I will tell you, it's really a new world order, and you must step in line with the new world order, Mr. Trump, if you want to get your backing for the federal grants that we are giving you for your business. Well, thank you. All right. That's about that for that. You know, if he has 3 judges he's planning on nominating for the Supreme Court, if he doesn't choose Judge Napolitano, he's not really the conservative poster child. Private property rights for women. Wow. Bill Gates is a eugenicist, yeah. I'm not really concerned about the 3 judges yet. Cutlery Corner Network live stream. Wow. Okay. I really don't want to go there.
It has like 500
Seriously, you're giving me a live stream
in the production of that Skin and Night.
Of an infomercial? I don't think that's a good Trump. That's not a good link, man. Bacteria. Yeah, don't ever give me a home shopping network, how to buy a knife. I mean, come on. Give me a break. Oh, this is pretty good. This guy eats a World War II ration kit. That's breakfast MREs from World War II.
Now, out of my own personal collection, we're going to be checking out this World.
Wow. It looks real appetizing. A lot of times I don't eat these things. I just talk about it. Powdered eggs from 1945 will be in the lineup. I can't wait. I have this 1958 survival kit. I'm thinking of making pancakes out of it. I don't know. Trump is he's obviously groomed for the White House by the Illuminati. This is not a wig. It's not. You can't get a wig to look like this because it's real hair. Thank you so much for you. You miss Rod Serling? Really?
You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension of both sight and sound, of both things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the land of your imagination.
Okay, well, we're going to go back to that a little later. Here's a song from Scissor Fight called AI. They're arming up, everybody. They're arming up for a military state. This is the amount of shipments of armaments to the local police departments under Obama. The government has been arming up our cities, getting ready for a violation of posse comitatus at the highest level. And now Trump is trying to bring in the National Guards to deal with Chicago's violence instead of solving the problems of the people. This is the same police state that was implemented under Adolf Hitler in Germany, and now we're seeing it again reappear under Donald Trump. Yes, a police state. And he's trying to implement this strategy while he caters to the right wing who think that, oh, you're so wonderful, Mr. Trump. You stopped helping fund planned abortions. Well, that's fine, but if you continue creating a police state, Mr. Trump, you are doing the work of the Illuminati and the New World Order, and you are doing exactly what Kissinger tells you to do. You're being Kissinger's bitch. They want martial law in America, and they'll do it any way they can. They created the environment. They created the environment for martial law when cops under Obama would never stop being brutal. They continue to be brutal, and Obama never did a damn thing to stop the brutality. So instead of implementing a plan to get cops to be less brutal, he's going to up the ante and add federal troops into the city of Chicago. It will be a police state shortly. I just showed you the article where Trump is talking about sending in the Guard, the Federal Guard, National Guard. Okay, Trump tards, here that this is dedicated to you from Scissor Fight, another original. He puts a lot of his energy into these videos or audios because, he's got the same concern all of us do about our country now. And he uses his form of communication as music. Nicely done.
The American dream is dead.
We're playing pension politics because the powers that be bought Donald Trump, just like they bought Obama. So you Trump cards take your BS world of make-believe, American great again, and stick them where the sun don't shine. Alright? Now you guys get the hell out of our room because you're not looking in any way finding this union of like-minded thinkers. Because you people don't have a brain in your stupid Trump card head. Trump isn't throwing anything off the elite. Trump is a joke. He was bought and sold by the elite. He's a greedy, self-evident, greedy scumbag who will do whatever it takes to screw this country over. And you Trump cards fell for him. All the lies that came out of his mouth, including his supposed income of $10 billion, which I've shown you. Net worth of the year puts him at $4 billion in net worth.
Look, I'm really rich.
Right? He's the ultimate puppet, and they got strings attached, and so you don't wake up, we don't deal with the Trump impeachment process, which I think you need to start thinking about all of you do.
The American dream is dead.
Yeah, he's killing it.
The American dream is dead.
Wow. He actually said the American dream is
I'm
dead.
really rich.
He's a con man, yeah. So true, Posies. Good point.
We are going to make America great again.
Okay, so Posey just said Trump is broke. He's making deals for himself and telling his followers it's what they want. He's a con man. Thank you, Posies. Yep. Ring around the Posey. Pocket full of posies.
Look, I'm
really rich.
We're playing pendulum politics because the powers that be bought Donald Trump, just like they bought Obama. So you Trump-tards take your BS world of make-believe, America great again, and stick it where the sun don't shine. All right?
All right.
I just sold an apartment for $15 million to somebody from China. Nobody would be tougher on ISIS than Donald Trump.
Posey's cool.
When do we beat Mexico at the border? They're laughing at us. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists. The American dream is dead. The American dream is dead.
You can't put another Hitler in the White House. It's not going to happen under my watch. All gloves are off. Shit was on the table. Cool. And then let's not forget the portentous dance of Melania and Donald. Listen to the words and tell me this isn't portentous of a very bad future for America.
We began this journey and they said we and me, we didn't have a chance, but we knew we were going to win. And we won.
Now the end is near.
Now the end is near.
And so I face the final curtain.
And so I face the final curtain. I mean, what is this?
My friend, I'll say it clear.
It's corruption, you're right. I'm looking at a world of hypocrisy, of people that think they're so special because they've got all this power. This is not what the American wanted. This isn't a heralding a third-party solution. This is a guy who just loves himself, loves his money, and loves his crony friends that want to suck up to him. We aren't looking at any major change. This is George W. Bush repackaged, on steroids. He even shows Bush's cabinet pretty much. All right, everybody. Well, that's obviously a piece for the history books. I just don't have any real sense that that was a real event. I didn't sense anything credible, any authentic feelings there. It's a total fake hit parade Republican suck-up fest. That's all they want. You see, the Republican Party is a party of greed. They love money. Dude, he borrowed so much money, he thinks he has money, but he's really broke. Posey's right. Yeah. This guy borrowed money when he went through $10 million when his dad gave him an inheritance in 1 year. Then his brothers and sisters all forked over money. There's evidence that when he started his casino business, that one of his relatives went over there and bought $3.5 million in chips just to keep him going. And we didn't lose at all. This country won the popular vote for Hillary. I want a centrist party. I want a third party. I don't want two parties anymore. I would never sell my house unless I had to move because of obvious health concerns. But I can tell you that I didn't cash in on my house. I kept it for my family to use. I was never going to, ditch it and sell it and borrow against it like Trump would. You make fun of me for inheriting a modular home, and then you look at him and he's borrowed billions of dollars to say he has that money. And he's sucked up to all these Federal Reserve Illuminatus that now are calling in their markers. It's a possibility that many of those 3 million votes were illegal. Sure, I'm not going to discount that possibility. Our entire election system has been corrupted by Russia. What gets me is howdy, Officer Mo. Officer Mo here from the police force. He likes the show. He hangs out. He's an interesting character. He was in here last night. And here is the proof that Trump is indeed lying about illegal voting. Okay, let's take a look. Good show tonight. Thank you for the constant chatter. It's all good. Trump. That still feels way weirder. They're writing the word President Trump on a. Yeah, apparently shocked congressional leaders yesterday by claiming in an extensive riff that he only lost the popular vote because of between 3 and 5 million votes which were cast illegally. The reaction to this has been strong and bipartisan, with both Republican Lindsey Graham calling him out and the liberal New York Times openly referring to this assertion as a lie. It is a sign of the bizarre times in which we now live that I must say that the Times is correct to call the Republican president a liar. But I do not think that they went quite far enough. This is because I believe that Trump's claim is not only completely unsubstantiated, it is easily proven to be a lie. And yet no one seems willing or able to perform that rather simple task. So I guess I will give it a shot. Usually proving a negative is next to impossible, but in this situation it's not. The first reason we know that Trump said what Trump said is untrue is because of what would happen if he was remotely right or even really believed it himself as to just protecting his frighteningly fragile ego. If a Trump really thinks that about 3% of the votes in a presidential election were cast illegally, why in the world is he not making massive election reform a high priority in his administration? If this is really the case, then he and every other Republican should be screaming it from the mountaintop, because it means that our elections are completely a sham. The GOP majorities, especially in the House of Representatives, should be significantly larger. Who paid off Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan to stay completely quiet about this huge scandal? But it isn't this just basic common sense which shows that Trump is lying. We also have overwhelming numbers to back up this charge. You see, apparently Trump doesn't realize how congressional elections work and why their results are literally the perfect proof that there is no issue of massive voting by illegal immigrants who supposedly would have extreme animus towards Trump, even though he will likely be no tougher on the vast majority of them than Barack Obama was. Each congressional district in a state has effectively the same number of people, not citizens, regardless of their eligibility to vote. This means that by comparing turnout in the congressional districts with little or no illegal immigrants with districts which have a high percentage of people who are likely in the country illegally, it can provide us with tremendous evidence as to whether there is a large illegal voter problem. My state of California, thanks to its geographic and demographic diversity as well as massive population of illegal immigrants, is by far the best state to provide that information. The evidence, quite frankly, could not be more overwhelming against Trump's theory. Okay. I read enough. Thank you. Hey, just because POTUS in the past have lied doesn't mean you should just sit there and suck off of Donald Trump's lies and use it as your elixir when you go to bed at night going, oh, Trump's going to make America great again. I'm so happy. Oh. Meanwhile, they're dumping chemicals on your head, poisoning your water system with toxins that he won't even address, talking about GMOs contaminating our entire diet he won't even talk about, sticking you with needles, vaccinations that cause tumors, draining your entire finances and dropping your household worth because you got sick, and he doesn't give a crap about the rising cost of health care. Oh yeah, he's really making America great again. Oh yeah, what a brilliant man. Now there is evidence that ELF and microwave frequencies are causing people to riot. There's technology that can trigger the riot sensation. Professor Anthony Sutton on psychotronic weapons and how they're used to manipulate people.
What I'd like to do is to get on with a subject that you've been most involved in since you've done all these things that we've been discussing, and that is psychotronics. I'd like to show you a video clip on Soviet psychotronics and ask for your comment, and we'll take off into that area.
Okay. But in the Soviet Union, a radio frequency, or RF device...
This stuff is really serious, folks. They have the ability to create anger and emotions with radio frequencies. Yeah. Thank you for that link, Scissor Fight. Yay! Oh, look it. You're just getting a taste of the future police state under the Nazi regime of Donald Trump. Enjoy. Yeah. You Trump-tards are going to wonder why you even thought for a second to believe this man. Mark my words. The economy is not doing well. There's a massive default rate on consumer debt right now. It's not looking good. Trump is completely not addressing it. He's now wasting more tax dollars to build his wall. I would be saving tax dollars by using illegal aliens that are in our prison system to do the labor. Trump's going to use just prisoners in general. I would give them their freedom and get them out of our prisons so that they don't have to be there anymore if they worked at the border. Trump isn't going to do that plan. He's going to keep the cost of our private prisons for profit prison system going full bore because he wants a police state. You guessed it. Yeah, I agree with the TPP move. I'm the one who told Trump to do it. I've been talking about it for about 2 years, since TPP was put on the plate, on the political plate. And I said we gotta stop it. I was the one that said reject it, and he followed suit during the campaign, and then he's been following almost everything I do. I'm the one that said 6 months before Brexit happened that Brexit would happen. He said it 2 days because he went into our show and heard me talking about it 2 days before Brexit happened. So TPP is just another crony attempt at making money. If Trump is accurate in stopping carbon taxation, which I've been asking to do for 8 years, I'm hoping he does exactly that, stops carbon point legislation. And apparently he got rid of the ClimateGate or the climate change section on the whitehouse.gov site. So that's not what I intended. I do believe there is climate change going on. I just don't think carbon point legislation is the answer. Yeah. Yeah, Trump is basically, relying on my information, what I told him. And when he drifts off of that and talks about IDing Muslims and how Mexico's going to pay for the fence, all those were his ideas. Whenever he went off the pathway that I had already tested and proven to be an effective method for the country, 8 years of work went into it, he just grabbed my idea, cherry-picked it, and pretended like it's his. Death towers revealed. The cell towers could be weaponized. We've been talking about the possibility of cellular towers
Welcome back to
turning into a dangerous thing. I'm going to play this clip on my exit out of here. Hey, thanks everybody for coming in. It's been great. As usual, we'll do the show tomorrow. Wasteful Wednesday starts at 5 p.m. discussing government waste, the wasted lives of American intelligent kids that are not getting an education, the waste that it could be composted from backs of markets. The absolute need to legalize marijuana will be discussed tomorrow. All these things. All right, good night. Take care.